All right, we're live here. Welcome. I'm Dashima. I'm so excited to be doing our Flow State Yoga Teacher Training live session. We come back together every Sunday for a time to connect with the community, a time to really unite our energy and vibration so that we can serve the world in the greatest possible way. And through this live session, we also do a number of things. One of them is to go through any questions and answers that you might have so that we can, deepen your understanding of the flow state teachings. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, everyone. I have some people joining. Pamela, Floor is here. Abigail, welcome. Clarissa, Jasmine, Goddesses. So happy to be here with you all and really excited for today. Leave a comment if you are also a part of the Flow State Challenge. We are doing it on the Flow State app. And if you're not, there's still time to join us. Although today we're already on day 8 and we're loving life. We're doing the smoothie cleanse. Actually today, I'm on day 13 of the smoothie cleanse. Lori's in the challenge. What's up? I know, I'm so happy to see some of you in the challenge and some of you might be doing it, but I'm not aware. So anyway, if you are or if you aren't, we're supporting you from a distance. Either way, it's really just my way of being able to hold space and help you to stay accountable to achieve your goals and dreams. So that's truly, truly what this is all about. And I've already been seeing many, many miracles showing up in my life. I'd love to hear about it if you have been too. I will share a little bit about some of the miracles that have been happening in my life. One of them, for example, is we'll be hosting a TEDx event. So excited. TEDx event in Miami Beach at the Faena property, which is one of my favorite places in the whole world. They have the most beautiful spa, probably in all of Miami, maybe in most of the US, I don't know. But anyway, really, really magical place on the ocean. We'll be hosting a TEDx event, I think on May 1st. So if you can make it, you're welcome to join us. It'll be on Sunday, May 1st. And there's also be an opportunity for you to come for the weekend. If you feel like getting away for the weekend, for a little spa weekend, we can get a discount for you at the rooms there. I think they said they'd be able to offer 20% off of the rooms. If you want to come, you can come with your partner, with a friend, with some friends, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to have the TEDx event all day on the 1st of May on Sunday, and 22 amazing speakers, all talking about how to raise a consciousness on the planet and to heal the people and the earth. So I'm super excited about that. One big epic thing that's happening. Abigail says, I couldn't find the email with the link for the challenge. The actual challenge, you can find the link in the app. So all you have to do is go to the flowstate.app or go to the app if you already have it. And it's right there on the homepage. And it's literally, Flow State Challenge. And you can click there and it gives you all the information. If you have any other questions, you can always email my assistant at support@flowstate.yoga and she can help you as well. Flora says, I cannot get into the challenge. So if you have any issues technologically getting in, if you already registered and you can't get in, you can email support@flowstate.yoga and talk to Suki, my assistant. In the app, you can connect to Nathan, our tech director. He's wonderful and he can usually help you. And also, some people were having better success if you have the Zoom link. If you just put the actual Zoom code right into Zoom, and that's been the most successful way I've seen people be able to have access, because it's Zoom streaming directly into Zoom from Zoom. So it's going right into the app. And so that's one of the reasons why you have to be logged in. You have to have access. You have to have the permission code and all that. But once you're in, you're in. And we've been having so much fun. So today is, like I said, I think today is day 8 of the challenge. We did a cord cutting meditation. And if you're in the challenge, you can actually also access all of our replays. They're in there as well. And so that gives you access, lifetime access as well. So it's really like you have lifetime access to all of it, or at least for the full year. I'm not sure if it gives you lifetime or a year, but anyway, it gives you access. You can keep practicing and doing these things. So today we did the cord cutting meditation, and it's such a powerful practice to do. In this session today, we're going to be talking about certain things to do with the Flow State teacher training. And I really want to open it up for questions as well, particularly if you're in the training and you have questions, what are you working on? What module are you currently in? And how can I best support you as you're growing and learning and flourishing and preparing for your own great and incredible success as well? One of the things that I'm so excited to share as well is we're going to be adding even more videos into the Flow State teacher training pretty soon. And we have really beefed up the training manual. It's now 300 pages and it's almost ready for you to have access to this new version. And the new version, it will have such a lot of resources. It has links in the table of contents. So it's a PDF ebook format, but you can click the link in the table of contents. It'll take you directly to the chapter. So, whatever you want to learn about, there's sections about all the different modules in the training. And then also in the back of the manual, there's all this index. So it has like all these different words and the meanings of those. And it will also link back to which page in the manual that those terms are mentioned. So it's a really interactive, really cool way to learn. And then also my tech manager is working on the possibility of integrating the idea that we were given an idea of kind of like adding a new interactive module into the app, which would allow you to create unique choreography of different poses so you can create your yoga sequences in the app. He's working on that. Currently, the app that we have doesn't allow for that type of integration, but he's working on finding ways that we can. So I'll keep you updated on that. I love our app. I think it's such a cool way to interact with the community. You post your homework in there. You have access to all the modules, and it's a really good kind of like community hub. I like it a lot better than a lot of times, everybody's doing this on Facebook groups, which is also good, but I like it to be something that we have more sovereignty over, because in Facebook, it's really just at the whim of what Zuckerberg and the Facebook people decide to do. And at any moment, they could literally just like shut that down and change the rules. And that's what they've been doing over the years, so much so that we're really, really excited to be moving away from that platform and into the app more and more. So anyway, I hope you're really enjoying that and appreciating having access to the app. Now, in terms of the teacher training, I really want to keep the conversation alive in terms of any questions that you guys have about what you're working on. Let's see. Clarissa said, what is the best way when starting? Move through the 30 DYC, then the individual modules. That's a great question, Clarissa. And yes, what you should do is actually go in order. So everything's in an order. And in fact, I think that it's set up in a way that you can't actually move on until you've done things in order. So it's set up that way to really prepare you. So when you come into the program, you start with the 30-day yoga challenge. And what I love about that is it gives you a foundation for your practice. And also you start to really get into the practice of yoga on a consistent basis. And also I encourage you to look at these practices, not just from the lens of a student taking the practice as a class, but from the lens of a teacher, and really observe what I've done in each video, the sequencing. Like in this specific 30-day challenge, what I did was I made sure that each video is short. So it's like 10 to 25 minutes maximum. And each video is specific. So each one is like targeting a different area. So one of them's just sun salutations. One of them's for your lower back, or, for your core, for your legs. Like I kind of broke them down. So this is something that I call micro sequencing. Micro sequencing is a targeted style of teaching that's really, really helpful and beneficial for people when they're learning to teach, because you'll start to really see the patterns of teaching. You say, oh, I see how she created flow in this sequence specifically, and how the theme of the class carried through all of the whole sequence was always in alignment with the theme. So these are things you want to keep in mind. And then as you learn how to teach more like a full class, like a full-length class, usually it's like an hour to an hour and a half. So you learn these techniques in the small sequences, and then what you learn how to do is create larger flows by piecing together various sequences. And that's also something that you'll see in the manual as well. In the manual, everything's broken down, right? So you have what I would consider the class outline or the format. And this is something that we added into the manual as well. But there's this certain format of how to teach a class. And I talked about this, I think, in the last workshop or in the one before that. But basically, you want to start out, introducing yourself, and you want to introduce the theme of the class and, speak about anything that you want to kind of like mention that sets the tone for the class. You can also start out with a prayer or a mantra. You want to mention any contraindications in the beginning as well, to be able to make sure everybody practices safely. And then moving into your class, so you start with a warm-up, sun salutations, move through the flow of a class. The next would be a standing sequence, and then a balance sequence, and moving all the way to the peak of the class, which would be called the peak pose. And then once you're at the peak pose, that's like the most challenging part of the class usually. And then from there, it goes more into like floor sequence, and then cooling down, core practice, and then what I call the finishing sequence, and then shavasana, and then the closing. So this is kind of like the flow of a class. So you want to think of it like a wave. And what you're doing when you're creating a class flow is you're taking into consideration all of the things. But one of the things is the energy, and one of the things is the tone, the pace, and that goes hand in hand with the music that you select. So there's all these pieces, right? That's why yoga teacher training is not like a weekend course, right? It's 200 hours minimum, because there's so much to learn just in terms of sequencing and teaching a great class. But besides for that, there's so much to learn when it comes to being a yogi, and also there's so many different ways of doing that. Like I know so many different, it was so interesting. I'll tell you a story really quick. I was with Dr. Khalsa, who's a research doctor from Harvard that I work with. And he, we were talking about how there's all these different kinds of yoga. For example, yoga with goats, yoga with wine, yoga with hamburgers, like whatever. They have all these various, very strange combinations of things that people are bringing together with yoga. And we were talking about how that's interesting. One of the good things about it is bringing people into yoga, right? So somebody who normally wouldn't do yoga, but now they will because they love to drink beer. And so they're like, oh, beer yoga, this is great. And I was asking him, I was like, do you think that those types of fusions of yoga class, do you think that it still produces the same benefits? And because in my view, I'm kind of a Puritan. I don't think you should drink beer and do yoga. I mean, you could do it, but I wouldn't teach that as like a primary offering, but a lot of people are finding their niche, right? And so, like, for example, one of my friends, they partnered with a big club in South Beach, Miami, or Miami Beach, which is called Space. Club Space was famous for everyone who would go there would always be on like MDMA, ecstasy, or like LSD, some kind of psychedelics, right? So Club Space, now they opened up a big park, so they call it Space Park, and it's outside, and this girl is leading what she calls 420 yoga, which is like yoga with weed smoking. And it's like so popular. She literally has hundreds of people every week come to her classes. And it's so interesting because it's just cool to see that many people into yoga. And they were like sincerely practicing. They weren't like, just like messing around, they were sincerely practicing. And I went to it yesterday because I wanted to support them. And my good friend Nick is a part of it. And he asked me to come, and I went, and I actually did some sound healing with my chalice. Anyway, but it was interesting because I was thinking about Dr. Khalsa and what he said about how, even those things where you're combining, whatever kind of thing that you are, whether it's puppies or goats or wine or marijuana or CBD or beer, I don't know, like all these combinations. Now, they're not necessarily my offering, but he said that they are still beneficial because just doing yoga poses, even just that alone, yoga has such an inherent intelligence that when you do it, your body is starting to reprogram its consciousness just from doing yoga, even if you're not even present. Now, imagine if you just take that aside, and then now we're talking about flow state yoga, which is really a higher level master path, because It's not combining with beer and, you know, all these substances that's going to kind of like dull your consciousness. Instead, it's asking you to awaken to a higher consciousness just through the breath, just through your presence, and with these movements, and with staying present, and train yourself, train your consciousness to be able to be fully present and to be able to connect to the higher power, the source of life, continuously through this practice. So that's really what we're aiming for when we teach flow state yoga. But at the same time, like, I also encourage you to be creative. Like, that's one of the fundamental, I think, distinctions. What makes flow state yoga different is that we encourage you to be creative, and actually we built that into our training. We want to teach you and help you how to access your highest creative self, and to be able to do that through your connection to the source of life, which is the infinite intelligence of the universe, right? And so that's really the premise and the foundation of flow state yoga. And as you practice it more and more, teach in this way as well, you master that. And that's how you really get into flow state. Flow state is a state of being beyond the thinking mind, total absorption with the present moment, absorption with the infinite intelligence of existence. That is what flow state's about. Now, it doesn't happen the first week. It doesn't even usually happen during the first teacher training. This is a life path. This is a lifelong journey of exploration, of growing, of learning, evolving. And it's really, really exciting when you understand it from that perspective. Let's see. Flor says, is it possible to do a different order too? Let's see. Okay, so let me answer that question, Flor, because I think the way that the training's set up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way that it is set up, she's saying it is possible. Originally, the way that it was set up was that you would have to start, and then it would go through an order, and it wouldn't let you proceed until you finished the module before it. Maybe they unlocked it. I'll have to talk to my.
It is unlocked. It's possible to go through it. I know for myself, because I did the 30-day yoga challenge before. And so I just, when I started the teacher training, I started with 30-day yoga challenge, and then I saw different things, and I thought, I'm more called to do this now or that. And so I did it, and it was possible. So it was not blocked that I couldn't do it before I unlocked the other things.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good to know. And I'll have to make a note of that, and we might need to change a few things, because the original way that we had it organized, and that was something that Lori just mentioned, which I think was helpful too, Lori, thank you for sharing that, was that when, the way that we have it set up is that you're supposed to write like a journal entry and like feedback and like post about each module. And when you're brand new, we do like for you to start with the 30-day yoga challenge, but like what you're saying, Flora, is that you've already done that. So if you've already done that, then of course you don't have to do it again. So that's, for you, it's wonderful because you already did that. But even
for me, it was very nice to be able to go from one to another, and then what I'm called to do at that moment. So I really appreciate not having to unlock the things before I can go on. But I can see why it's really important to start with the 30-day yoga challenge, and I can see why the modules are done like they're, why the order you place them is perfect.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, I think it's important because, I've been teaching for so many years. I know that it does help to go in a certain type of unfolding order, right? So if I just said, all right, take your time, do what you want, it's just too much and overwhelming. So it's like, okay, progressively it builds and builds. And then once you get to the full length classes, it's like, okay, I can handle a 2-hour practice. But if you started with that, it would be like, whoa, right out the bat, but like we start with the 10-minute sequences and we build and we get more and more, elaborate and stuff. And then you really can start to see how you can also organize classes like this. What do you think, Flor? Because you've been doing this training for a little while now. What's your favorite modules that you've been learning?
It's a stupid answer actually, but I do like them all, and I do like the fact that there are so many different things. I was talking to my sister-in-law yesterday, and she did yoga in 6 schools for the last 8 years. And she was asking, like, how do you want to give it? And I was explaining a bit how this Flow State Institute gives it, and how on particular moments you're called just to more do meditation or kriyas or just short blocks. And yeah, I really like the part of all different things, and that bringing together and do whatever feels best at a time. Like you actually said, the fact that you can use your creativity to put all those different pieces together, it's amazing.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you so much for the feedback, Goddess. Yeah, it really does help to hear, from the feedback of someone who's participating and really engaged in it, because, there's so many different ways that yoga is being taught. One of the most popular ways that yoga is taught, as you might know, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but one of the most popular ways that it's taught is that it's like, here's the script, follow the script, and do exactly as I say. So that's one way. I never really felt resonant with that, because I was like, well, we are infinite beings of creative energy. So if I was like, follow this one script, do exactly as I say, that would be fine. Like, you could do that, but like, you would never grow. Like, you would never really reach your full potential. And my deepest intention for you is that you would actually evolve and reach your fullest potential. And that's way beyond any script that I can write, even though I could write a great script and you would have a really beautiful practice and that class would be wonderful, but it would just be limiting. So that would be keeping you in the box. So that's why they call that a closed system, when it's like scripted and it's like this only one way. And then what we have is the open system. So the open system is, it's ever evolving. It's a living, breathing ecosystem of creative energy that's flourishing and that has like limitless potential, and it's limited only by your imagination and your desire to create. But at the same time, we like to make sure that you have available to you all of the different resources, or at least as much as that we possibly have available to offer you at every moment, so that it's an interesting experience to see all the different ways that there are teacher trainings out there, and like that we are specifically choosing to offer it with this level of creative energy and support you in your own creative blossoming. That's the way I look at it. Blossoming.
Well, for me in the beginning, I did find it quite strange to hear my own voice by singing and doing the bijas or the mantras. It was strange to do for me in the beginning. So I was a bit like, I tried it and then I went away of it, but then I came back, and the more you do it, the more it's natural to hear your own voice and to just, bring out your own voice. And I think it's really powerful to be able to have that too in a teacher training.
Yeah, I love that. And think about this, like in terms of your voice, your voice, the fifth chakra is actually also very intimately related to your message, which is very intimately related to your purpose, right? So as you strengthen your fifth chakra, which is through singing, speaking, communicating in many ways, even teaching and also writing, and just like all the different ways, that is strengthening your resolve and you're deepening your relationship to your purpose of life. And that sets your soul on fire. I mean, your soul is on fire with your purpose. You're like, yes, I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm doing. And then it's a matter of, okay, how do I get the proper support around me to fulfill these creative visions that I have for my life? And that's also what we provide here is, hopefully as much as we can, like supporting you through the Master Business Academy, through the app, through the live sessions that we have to be able to help you to reach those goals. So I'm so happy that you're experiencing that. And thank you for all of your sharing, Flora. We love you. Let's see. And I think somebody was just saying, Angela, I loved what you just said, which was, what I really appreciate about this training is all the additional offerings beyond just the yoga asanas. Yes, it really allows for creativity and invites one to move into the yoga yoking of the mind, body, and spirit. I love how you said that. That's so beautiful, Angela. It's so true. And I remember Angela was actually at the live training in Costa Rica, and it was so fun to take your class because it was really, really evident that you had, taken this on and made it your own. And that's one thing I love to see, is where it's like she just took it on and she made this goddess sensual, flow, which was so fun. Everybody loved it. We were just like, yes, this is awesome. We got dancing, we're like touching ourselves, all sorts of stuff. But the thing is, that's what people need these days. We don't need to be in a box. And she's like, I wish I had recorded it. You can still do it. Like, go record it. Record it and send it in. It'll be fun. Actually, record it and put it on YouTube. You'll probably get a lot of views. But anyway, so the point is that, like, literally you have limitless creativity. And also when you start to tap into the true nature of who you are, right? And know yourself more. And then that comes through in your teachings. Like, one of the feedbacks that Angela got when she taught her class was everyone was like, that class was so you. But also the other feedback was people were saying they didn't even know she was fully that way, because her true personality came through in the class, but her personality that everybody else kind of knew the most was more reserved. Like, she was like very professional, and she used to be a nurse. So, and then but when she got into the teaching mode, it was like all of a sudden she came alive. And that's the cool thing about teaching. It's like it gives you a stage and a platform for you to really fully express yourself. And so I love that about yoga. This older teacher that I know, Sean Korn, I remember one time she got really into activism, and she used to use her yoga teaching as a platform. And that's one thing that she always used to say. She's like, yoga has given her a platform to be able to speak about all of these things that she's passionate about. And she was really passionate about, like different topics. And so I'm the same way. Like, I've used this yoga platform, which gives you like a platform is like something that you stand on, right? So it's like something that you can stand on, which is, I'm a yoga teacher. But then from there, you can speak about many different things, like whether if it's Angela, like speaking about sensuality and breaking out of the mold, or, different people had their different kind of like vibe, or, like topic that they were really flowing with in their theme. And like, for me, I'm going to be speaking a lot more about flow state and the children of the future, because those are things that I'm super passionate about in psychedelic medicine and like things like that. But the point is that you can really take it any direction you want. And that's the nice thing about yoga, is that it has infinite creative potential for you to flow in whatever direction that your soul came here to do. So it really gives you that platform to be able to express your soul's purpose in many different ways. And that's one of the reasons that I teach the teacher training in this way, because I've seen different trainings that are available, and I'm like, yeah, there's lots of cool things out there, right? You can learn more kriyas. Like, some of them, it's just like asanas and kriyas, and then they focus on like the Yoga Sutras or something. So they got like 3 things and they really focus there. There's different kinds of things. So it's like, we teach those things too, but like the core aspect is to teach you to be a master of your own consciousness, and to connect to your infinite creative energy, to be able to live in the flow, and so that the divine intelligence can stream through you, and you have the tools and the resources to combine them in such a way that provides a unique and powerful, life-changing experience for people in many different ways. And one of the things that I love so much about our group in Costa Rica when we did the live training retreat was almost everybody included dancing in their class. And I thought that was so fun. It was literally the first time in my whole career of 11 years leading trainings where I do believe every single person included dancing in their class. So I was really happy to see that, because I always do. And maybe it was because I always do that people were like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. And it became like a very common thread between all the different classes that everybody taught, was that they always included some kind of dancing at some point. So I really love that. And actually it goes really, really well with flow state yoga, because truly dancing is the highest expression of the divine feminine and the meditative energy as well. if you do it and you really get out of your mind and you get just into the body, into embodiment, into your breath, into the present moment, and you just really feel that interconnection to the divine source of life streaming to you and through you as you, that is the ultimate expression of flow state energy. And so include dancing in your classes if you want. You don't have to though. And once again, there's no have to kind of thing. There is an outline, there is a structure, but at the same time, you get to choose. And if it's not your vibe, then don't do it. That's the important thing, is you get to know yourself. And then through knowing yourself, that expression of who you are comes through. And some people, maybe you want to focus more on therapeutic yoga and healing, but even that would still be appropriate to have dancing, just to be honest, is because dancing is really good for your joints, your hips, because it keeps all the synovial fluids moving, right? And a lot of times yoga is very static. Even if it's a flow, it's kind of very static. So it's like hold this pose, hold this pose. And it's nice if you're really like moving a little bit more, and then you start to really feel that interconnectedness to the rhythm in the heartbeat and the breath of existence. Does that make sense? I hope you guys following that. Let's see. Angela said, thank you. I wish I had recorded it. Yeah, you should record it. You still have time. You have a whole life ahead of you. You're just starting. So I would definitely record it. And that's one of the things that we teach in the Master Business Academy that's included in the training. You know, one of the modules is about, you know, filming and YouTube and also creating your own online courses and stuff. And like those topics are super valuable for you as you start to embark upon your journey as a teacher. And one of the things that I really emphasize is that once you graduate, or at least feel comfortable learning to teach, the next stage is actually that Business Academy is going to guide you on how to take it out there now. You know, whether you want to lead local classes, private classes, coaching sessions. We talked a lot about coaching. You know, lifestyle coaching is what I a lot of times call it. Lifestyle coaching is really like helping people, whether it's through detox cleansing, you know, meditation, doing these little private retreats, doing group retreats, doing group events. There's so many ways that you can help people. Jasmine said, I liked the dancing because I feel like it lets everyone let go and also connect more. It also helped me since I was new to yoga, because in my head, I was like, if I can get to the dancing part, I'm in the clear. That's so cool. Because that was around the peak pose. So I knew afterwards was more relaxed cool down. Oh, that's so great, Jasmine. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Your class was awesome. We were all just blown away. Jasmine comes in there and she's like, yeah, I haven't done much yoga in the past. And she like, it was so interesting because I kept asking her, I was like, Jasmine, do you have any questions? Do you want any help? She's like, no, I'm good. And I remember thinking like, I wonder if she's going to be able to teach a class. Cause like, you know, I was just like, we'll see. And then literally she taught an amazing class. And I was just like, this girl's a rock star. I could tell she's the type of learner that just absorbs. She didn't ask questions. Like she just like absorbed and then got it and then just like taught her class and rocked it. And I was really proud of you, Jasmine. That was so cool. Angela says, what is the time for the lecture for the NBA? What is the time? Oh, so we're not doing that, but we just have it during this. So like, if you have any questions about the MBA, you're always welcome to ask those during this. I used to have it as a separate module or like a separate time, but not enough people show up when I do a separate time. So I'm just like, I'm just doing it during this time. And I'm wanting everybody to feel free to ask anything that you want, whatever you're working on, whatever you're passionate or excited about. It's available to be talked about during this, because everybody who's in this conversation right now, in this session, is also probably wondering the same questions. But some people may or may not be at that stage yet, but it's still helpful. Like if you have a question and somebody isn't at that stage yet, but if you ask the question, the nice thing is it starts to plant seeds for everybody who maybe isn't there yet, but they're going to be there very soon. And so I highly encourage, if you just ask away, if you have any questions in this session, you're welcome to ask. Is that helpful, Angela? Let's see. Any other questions? Feel free to
Is it all right if I unmute myself for a moment?
Of course.
So I've been getting some Instagram stuff that says like promote at something or other or whatever. So, I mean, is that something like I've never done that before? And I don't know if that's like normal. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm not entering myself into some sort of scammy or weird or whatever kind of thing. But I'll get like promoted on, let's see, where was one that I actually thought I might, because some of them were a little too at Miracle Community. So like they say like to repost or something, and I don't know anything about that or how to do it.
You know what you should do? Like if somebody contacts you, because there's a lot of things that are good and then there's a lot of things that are not good. So you want to kind of like be discerning, right? Because you never know. Some of them scam, some of them not. Let's look at this situation that's being offered to me, and I'm going to ask them some questions. So one way that you can know if it is or isn't, right? One of the ways is by saying something like, okay, like, is there a charge, right? And there might be a charge, but let's say it's $25. Who knows? If it's a small amount, right, it's not a big risk. But then you're going to ask, you could ask another question like, do you have any examples of other people that you've done that, right? So then they can send you some other clients or whatever that they have, because some of them, they have a very legitimate business where they're like, we will post you in our story for $15 or something. Like, it's worth $15 to give it a try. Like maybe it'll be good. Like, but you got to kind of like weigh it. What is the price? What is the offer? And then is it willing? Are you willing to do a risk? Like, for example, if it doesn't work out, like if you pay $15 and it doesn't give you anything for that, it's not a huge loss, right? But if it was like 150 and you got nothing, then you're like, well, that was not good. So you want to think, okay, if it's a small amount, it could be worth the risk, but it's better to ask better questions up front just to see, right? So you could say, do you have any examples of other people? And then they can show you that. And if it's like, yeah, this person, did it and they ended up getting 1,000 followers, blah, blah. They say, okay, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to try it. I try a lot of things, different things, especially if it's something in alignment, like the Miracle Network. That sounds cool. Like it sounds in alignment, right? So that could be a blessing. But if it's like something scammy and you look at their page and it's like this garbagey stuff that you don't want anything to do with, you're like, no, because like you got to also think about the energetic alignment. Do I want my vibration connecting to that, whatever it is? And if it's like, wow, I love it, it's all these beautiful things, it's inspiring, it feels resonant, then you'd be like, okay, yeah, this could be good. Maybe it's worth the $15 or whatever that they're saying. And so you got to really look at the energetic frequency match, right? Sometimes it's like this, like you go to their page and it's like all this garbage and like terrible looking posts, and you're like, no, I don't even want to be associated with that. So you really got to think in terms of, is it a match? And then what is the offer and what is the ROI? And do they have any examples of others that are doing it that could look like success? And then weigh the risk, because it could still be not worth it, but it might be. You never know. So you got to try things. I do encourage trying things, and I've done that my whole career. I think the best thing is always collaborations with real people that you resonate with. So like, for example, let's say that like could be another person in our tribe, let's say Darian. I don't know. Darian has her account on private on Instagram, but if hers wasn't, right, let's just say, because I know she's in here, and I know Lori, let's see, I know a bunch of you guys are on Instagram. So basically anybody on Instagram that's actually actively into it, right, I would encourage you guys to collaborate in different ways. So you can kind of like promote each other, tag each other, different ways that you can kind of co-create that would expose each other to each other's audiences. Maybe even 3 or 4 of you could do it. You could do a little challenge together where you're like, we're going to do a 5-day flow state challenge or something, you know what I mean? And then, just kind of start small, but like do something where you're working together and you're tagging each other and all of that. Flora says, I think Dasham is on Instagram. I think so, but I'm really focused. I want to focus more on YouTube this year. Like I really feel I like Instagram and everything, but like I really feel YouTube is the best platform, to tell you the truth. The reason that I feel that way, and before I continue on that, does that help, Angela? Is that answer your question? You can speak. I mean, you can. Oh, she's saying yes. I had you in the spotlight, but I don't know if you saw that. Let's see. Take you off. Anyway, so hopefully that's helpful. Like, so whenever people contact you, right, and they want to promote you, now you got to just think, like I said, you got to look at it as in, usually if they're asking people, sometimes it's a scam, right? So a lot of times they're like, hey, we have this great thing. You want to be an ambassador for us? And it's like, you look at it and you're like, what's in it for me? You know what I mean? Like, do I want to be an ambassador for this? No. So, but if you're like, yeah, I'd love to be an ambassador for this, then that could be a good opportunity. So you got to think like immediately, what is your first response? And if it feels like a fuck yes, like, yeah, this is great, very resonant, then give it a try. But still ask the right questions and be willing to risk, losing, because sometimes it's not a win. But in the end of the day, the best thing is just collaboration with other real people that you feel connected to. That's always probably going to be the best. Now, I was going to say something. Oh, I was going to talk about YouTube. The reason I like YouTube so much is because YouTube is connected to a search engine, Google. So, like, I think I've mentioned, but some of my videos that I created literally 10, maybe 8 to 10 years ago went viral 8 to 10 years later. So that tells you something. There is a huge, huge, unique advantage there. Whereas if you post something last week on Instagram, probably no one will ever see it again. So it's like an interesting thing. It's like YouTube, something 10 years ago could go viral, and then Instagram, something 10 minutes ago is already like out of sight, out of mind. Instagram is very much like an instantaneous, mi amor, puppy. Mi amor is like attacking the cat. She really just wants to play with her. Mi amor, baby. Come here, little one. Come here. Bestie. Little one. You are the crazy puppy. Mi amor. Let's see. My baby. Let's see. Lori says, I look at their whole profile and website. They should have all the social media and about me before I answer anyone. That's a good point. Angela says, is there a space where you can advertise retreats, places that have more reach than IG or Facebook groups? Hey, that's a good question too. Okay, so that's a good question. Is there somewhere to advertise retreats? There's actually a bunch of places. Actually, there's websites. One is called like retreatplace.com. And yeah, if you just Google retreats, you will find a lot of websites. Specifically, if you Google yoga retreats, you'll find a lot of websites that focus on like promoting yoga retreats. There's like lots of them out there, and some of them will let you list your retreat for free, but then they take like a percentage, and then some of them charge you to list your retreat, but they don't take a percentage. So those are just choices that you have to decide on for yourself, what you want to do. But in the beginning, you might want to do the one that doesn't charge you and just give it a try, because if they bring you in a client, it's worth perhaps paying them a percentage, but you have to really decide what's going to be best for you in the long run and in the short run. Yeah, more. Say hi, baby. Little one. Say, hey guys, I've been chasing that cat, and you know what I do? I just bother the cat because I want to play, but that cat, she don't like playing. So it's a whole weird vibe. I don't know what to do. This crazy cat. You guys want to see this cat? Look at the cat. It's just like the funniest cat. Hi, cat. It just like literally doesn't like playing. And Mia Moore's like, come on, play with me, play with me, play with me. And I was like, no, baby, she don't like to play. Me and Mia Moore have been getting up at 5 a.m. She's a trooper. She's like, I get up at 5 a.m., but then I take about 5 or 6 naps every day because I be tired. You guys don't understand. I'm the 5 a.m. puppy. And it's damn hard getting up that early, but it's nice because I gotta pee. So we go out, we go pee. Mommy works out for like 20 minutes, then we meditate, then we're back in, and then I sleep in already. 6 a.m. Ah, mi amor. You're so cool. Angela. Oh yeah, I was wondering where she was. She was always around in Costa Rica. I miss her. She misses you guys too. She misses having so many people to play with, you know. She just like, she doesn't have anything to play with, so she just like bothers that cat. It's my friend's cat, and the cat does not like her. She's like, leave me alone. She don't like no puppies. And I'm always like, listen guys, I'm already an 8-pounder. Look at me. I'm the big 8-pounder. I'd be bigger every day. Me and Mars is the best thing ever. Okay, baby. Jen, I kind of torture her with my crazy antics. Anyway, okay, those were really great questions. What other questions do you guys have today? Let's see. I'm loving your questions because this is what I like to answer. Lori says, I'm having a hard time finding a balance between 3 a.m. club and 5:55 a.m. Feels like I slept in club. Well, I do 5 a.m. and it's been wonderful. It's so interesting, honestly, because I think I'm on like day 52. But yesterday I slept in because my friend came, and it was interesting. What happened was she got in a little late and Mia Moore was barking a lot, and it was like 11 p.m. And so I didn't get to sleep on my normal time. I like to go to bed at like 9, 9 or 10, the maximum. Anyway, so I was like sleep at like 11 something. So it was like, all right, I'm just gonna let myself sleep till 6:30. So I woke up at 6:30, and my whole day was like not as good. And it was interesting because I really realized my body loves getting up at 5 a.m. So it's something real. Like after a certain amount of days, you literally get into a place where your body and your consciousness thrives at that time, and it sets such a good tone for the rest of the day. Who here else is still doing the 5 a.m. club, and or if you weren't with us in Costa Rica, who here is at least doing the miracle morning and thinking about doing the 5 a.m. club, perhaps, if it's not a requirement, but these are like kind of the master level things, because my whole life when I was younger, I used to get up really early, and it was just remarkable. I didn't really like doing it, but I always did it for some reason. Like for years and years, I was in a running club, and I would wake up at like 5 a.m., go running first thing in the morning, sometimes like 5 miles or more. And it was just such an amazing way to start the day. And I didn't think of it like 5 a.m. club back then. I was just running because I was on a team, and my team, we all got up at that time every day, even in the summer. And it was such a life-changing habit. And I got really out of that habit when I went to college, and then as I got older. So now I'm getting back into it, and I really love it. Angela says, I will admit I have gotten way off from my schedule since returning from Costa Rica. It was super difficult with the holidays and travel and being in a different house, climate, bed every couple of days. I was able to journal and read and dance most days, and yoga about 3 days a week. Totally understandable, Angela. I'm proud of you for what you were doing, what you were capable of sticking with. And just so you know, most people got off the bandwagon, but that's one of the reasons that I decided to do this challenge, is because I wanted to provide an opportunity for you all to feel supported and to have the guidance so that you can have the motivation as well to get back on board if you want to. You don't have to do 5 a.m., although I will say day 52, I'm committed now. I love it. I think it's great. I don't want to do any other way. It's kind of funny because most people, I live in Miami right now, and like people are really late night people here. So I have to figure that part out, because everyone wants to like go out and do stuff at night. And I'm like, I can't, because I want to go to bed at like 9 p.m. I'm like a grandma, but I love it anyway. And I feel really, really good about it. So I'm figuring that part out. But anyway, just getting into it. And like, if you read the book, The 5 a.m. Club, like I mentioned, and or also read the book, The Miracle Morning. My friend Hal Elrod, who wrote The Miracle Morning, he literally gets up at 3:30 every day, or like 4 a.m. or something, because he has children. And like, when you have children and stuff, it's really good to wake up super early, because you wake up before them and then you get your own time to yourself, and it's so wonderful. So anyway, I highly encourage, if you're having a hard time getting back into it, just try the Miracle Morning to start. You don't have to do 5 a.m., but like whatever, wake up 1 hour earlier than you are right now, and then wean yourself into, if you want to do 6 a.m., 5 a.m., even 7 a.m., whatever works for you, but just try to get up an hour earlier, do the Miracle Morning. That can really help. And then you could also from there progress into doing 5 a.m. if you feel like it. Let's see. Lori says, I always have a miracle morning. I have a lot of rituals. Yeah, beautiful. Abigail says, I'm reading it and planning to start soon. Oh, good. You're reading which one, the 5 a.m. club or the Miracle Morning, Abigail? Angela says, after the retreat, while I was in Costa Rica and La Fortuna, I easily woke up even before the alarm. And as soon as I got back, I swear my body just dropped the internal alarm. You know, it's a good point, Angela. I'm going to mention this because I have had that experience many, many years in a row after coming back from my trainings. And it's something about being in certain environments that are very, very immersed in nature that your body, and also like you're in that biorhythm, that you're in the circadian rhythm that goes with the sun and this just like the way that your body gets in tune with that when you're in nature is really, really graceful, effortless. And then when you go back into society where we have a lot of like technology and radiation, and I mean, I hate to say it in that way, but you know, like just like the way that our lives are built around, you don't even realize how much electromagnetic frequency EMF is like floating in the air because of all the towers for the cell phone towers and all the things that we have in the modern world, and the electricity, the power lines, the cell phone towers, like everything that's in the modern world, it's constantly bombarding our energy field. So it just makes it a little bit different. Now, I have been doing this for many years. So it took me all these years, honestly, to get to where I'm like, I love my 5 a.m. club. Usually when I would get back from the teacher trainings in the past, I would kind of like give myself permission to rejuvenate and sleep in as much as I wanted. But I also noticed it would always throw me off, and I would get out of my miracle zone and I would get into basic, basic zone. I'll call it basic zone is where like the miracles are not as prolific, when you're in the basic zone of waking up whenever you want and just like going about your day, getting very minimal amount of things like accomplished, because like when you're in that kind of lazy energy of just waking up when you want, it's very different energy than when you're like in a focus mode. So I'm just in a focus mode right now. This year I have some very big goals that I'm aiming for and that I'm accomplishing. And I'm just like, I am making these things happen this year, and I'm very, very committed. So it depends on your level of commitment to those things. But if you really want to get back into it, Angela, I would suggest trying the 5 a.m. club, but you have to stick with it for 66 days. That's the key element. If you get out of it before the 66 days is up, you don't create the habit. And I really believe that, because now I'm on 52. And I noticed day 51, I slept until 6:30, and I noticed the difference. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to get up at 6:30. I want to get up at 5 a.m., which is really crazy to say that and to think that and to know that that's how I feel, because I'm so happy to feel that way. But it took me 51 days to build that into my energy, to build that into the habit. So I am rooting for you. If you want to try it, let me know how it goes. Flora said, I'm doing the miracle morning already for a longer time, but not at 5 a.m., just later. I do notice my days are much better when I do miracle morning. Oh, good. That's so great. Pamela says, I keep waking up at 6:30 for the 6 a.m. challenge. It is still earlier than before, but I miss the camaraderie. Oh, we love you and we miss you too. Try getting up a little earlier if you can. You're so cute. I'm waking up at 6:30 for the 6 a.m. challenge. Yeah, if you get up in the 5:30 a.m., you're going to give yourself a little bit of time to get ready and be there. And yeah, but we miss the camaraderie. That's why I'm going to keep this thriving energy of community as much as possible for you guys, is because it really does help. When you're plugged in to a community of loving support, people that are like on the same wavelength, creating their life in a frequency, in a high vibration, in flow, and supporting you and loving you and rooting for you, it's such a great environment to plug into on a regular basis. After the challenge, I don't know if we're going to keep doing the lives like this, but we definitely want to stay connected. So I'm going to come up with some way for us to continue to stay connected. Angela says, I do need to get up earlier for sure. I have a long morning routine for self-care as far as nutrition, so I need to get up so I can get to the rest of my day at a reasonable time. See, that's how I am too, Angela. And that's why I noticed, like, I have this whole self-care routine that literally, if I do the routine that I really, really love, it's like 4 hours. Like when I was in Bali, I used to do that, and it was like a 4-hour self-care morning routine, but it included like the miracle morning, a yoga practice, which miracle morning included breath work, kriyas, as well as my journaling and reading, and then also like a 1 or 2 hour meditation, and then a shower, a total dry brushing, then coconut oil massage, which is called abhyanga in the Ayurvedic system, and then tongue scraping and like all my Ayurvedic oil swishing, and then head massage, a whole face massage. Like it literally is a 4-hour morning routine. And that doesn't even include nutrition, because that would be before having anything. But then I also do my drink in the morning. So anyway, the point is, I don't do my 4-hour morning routine right now. However, just waking up at 5 a.m., I'm still getting a lot more in the day. So I'm really, really happy about that. Let's see. Abigail, 5 a.m. club. Oh, okay. So yeah. Well, let me know how you like the book. I'm loving it. And also, if you want to post on Instagram, tag me, Robin Sharma, and the 5 a.m. club. They might repost you because they're really cool like that. Angela said, plus it's cold now and I just want to stay warm, cuddled in my bed. Yes, I'm working on it. I got up an hour earlier today. You know, one of the things I was thinking about that, because it's a little chillier here now too. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get myself a very comfy, like sort of outfit that I love to wear, like organic cotton or organic bamboo, kind of like a hoodie and sweatpants and stuff. That way I love to wear this, and I'm going to put it on in the morning, feel great. And that way I'm warm and popping out of bed. Let's see. Lori said, I had one day that happened to me too, 6:30 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're used to getting up super early and then all of a sudden you're waking up at whatever, even if it's just an hour later, just is weird. It's like, it's really cool in a way, because your biorhythm gets really conditioned to be in a certain flow. And when you get out of that, you're like, whoa, like it's an hour later, the light is already coming up. Like you feel the missing element of that morning, that clarity of that dark hour. Clarissa says, I'm hoping to get to a point where I'm waking up 30 to 60 minutes before my son, so I can have that self-care and reflection time for myself. Yes, we're rooting for you, Clarissa. You can do it. That's what this is about. Like I think I mentioned, but my friend Hal, who wrote the Miracle Morning, he literally did this. I mean, there's a few reasons. If you read the book, The Miracle Morning, you can really learn about his story. But one of the reasons he created it as well is because he has 2 or 3 children, and he wanted to be able to get a bunch of, these things done, his meditations, all of his like inner practices done before his kids got up. And this was the only time that he had available. And a lot of the greatest masters throughout history are morning people. They get up and it's just a discipline that you can build into your energy that can really create a miraculous life. And so it's something to really consider building into your daily routine. And it's not just about getting up early. It's literally because it reprograms your consciousness to become a new person. You're like, I'm not the old person that I used to be, that just hit the snooze and was okay with things not working out and attracted shitty people that did bad things. Instead, no, I'm a new person. This new person is on fire, fucking doing the best stuff. Everything works out. Best case scenario every time. That's who I am. Boom. Abigail, I'm loving it. It's harder to get up when it's so dark. My husband said to wait until the summer, but I think it's better to put myself out of my comfort zone. Yeah, amazing. I love that. It's harder to get up when it's so dark. My husband said to wait until summer. Nah, don't wait until summer. That's a long time. That's like 6 months. Like, wait till summer. No, don't put off your dreams, dude. You got this, goddess. It's better to put myself out of my comfort zone. Yeah, get out of the comfort zone, because that's where you're going to get into the miracle zone. Comfort zone is not where the miracles happen, as we know. Lori said, my morning routine needs asana and exercise. I love Kriya and meditation, but my body is like, move. I'm getting back into a groove. That's why I want to teach a 6 a.m. yoga boot camp class, because I personally need that and no one in town is doing it. See, that's a great point, Lori. I used to love opening the yoga studio at 5:30. I missed that in my life. That's amazing. I would highly encourage you to do a 6 a.m. yoga boot camp class. Why? Because first of all, exactly like what you said, it's something that you want and need. Nobody else is doing it. If you find something that nobody else is doing and that you want and need this thing, That's a recipe for success. It's a huge yes. Why? Because if you want and need it, other people want and need it. And if nobody's doing it, you're going to be successful. So just put it out there. Definitely do it, Lori. I'm rooting for you, and you will transform your life just by making that decision, because you're going to have lots of people joining you, and you're going to get in great shape. You're going to feel better. You're already a morning person, but guarantee there's other people that are morning people that are going to join you. And even some people who are not yet morning people that want to be, and they're going to be inspired by your discipline, and they're going to be able to transform their lives with your guidance. So definitely do it. Abigail says, when my kids are young, I used to get up early to get all the housework done. I'm liking the idea of self-care time. Yeah, better than doing housework. Take care of yourself. I love the whole thing of doing all my Ayurvedic routines in the morning. Dry brushing, I love doing that. Coconut oil massaging, swishing with coconut oil, face massage, head massage, deep conditioning for the hair. Do it all. When else are you going to do it, right? You got this, Abigail. Lori says, I'm doing it, and so it is. It's already started, and I just have to complete it. Yes, this is your month to manifest that miracle. Flor says, great idea, Lori. Yay, yeah, you could do that too, Flor. How's your studio coming along, Flor? I know you were creating a studio. Maybe you could do something like that for your community as well, or whatever you want to do. But yeah, I can't wait to hear about what you're going to do. Clarissa said, I used to love 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. fitness classes at my old gym. It was the best way to start my day, and I always left for work in a great mood, full of energy for the day. Exactly, Clarissa. That's a great point. So when you, like I was saying to Lori, when you have something that you love and that you want to see happen, and maybe it's not happening, that means you probably are the one that needs to make it happen. And then as a byproduct of you making it happen, it's going to be successful. You're going to be successful. And also it's going to bring a lot of incredible people into your life who are on the same vibration, and they're going to support it. They're going to be so grateful for you, and you're going to feel very, very thriving in that energy. That's super important, that what you put out is also who you're going to attract. So if you're putting out like a morning thing, or it doesn't have to be a morning thing, maybe you're an evening person, who knows, but whatever you want to put out, you're going to attract people in that same energy, and you're going to start to build a community. You're going to start to see yourself thriving. You're going to start to see yourself abundantly, like manifesting your dreams, and, just like follow your bliss. That's the way I always say it. Follow your bliss, follow that joy, allow that joy to guide you towards your destiny. Let's see. Lori says, I can't make it past 7:30 p.m. these winter days. I think a lot of people are that way. Like I said, I mean, if something's like after 7 p.m., I'm going to be like, I'm not going to go. I'm so funny. Depends. Like on New Year's, I did go to like the symphony, but yeah, I didn't like, go partying or anything. I'm just like in a different vibe right now. I'm all about manifesting my dreams. Flori said, the house is still in the renovation stage now. The plan is to start in the summer. People in town are very enthusiastic about the yoga studio that will reopen. Oh, good. Amazing, Flor. That's a great timing. Summer is wonderful because it'll be warm, and you're going to have a lot of success because you'll have plenty of time to prepare. Pamela says, I am very good about doing my yoga for at least an hour every day, twice a day when I was on silent retreat. I have gotten 2 classes worked out that I believe in, that I will feel confident teaching to others as soon as I can do them myself. But I need to get up a half hour earlier. The journaling has fallen out, and I am missing that. Very enlightening. I felt that when you said the kind of person who hits the snooze. No, I am not that person. I can definitely get up a little earlier, but I stay up late. Yes, Pamela, I love you, and you got this. You are not that person that hits the snooze. You are not that person who hits the snooze. You can get up a little earlier, and you can journal and do your miracle morning, and that's going to be so transformational just to have that extra half hour, honestly. And I'm super proud of you for having 2 classes that you've already developed. I loved your class in Costa Rica, and you're an amazing goddess, and I can't wait to see what you create with that. So exciting. Flor says, and I can use our garden too. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, you could do ceremonies out there. You could do dances. You could do lots of stuff. I have this friend, they have a yoga studio in Delray Beach, and it's beautiful. It has this big outdoor garden area, and they put like a fire pit, and they do like dances and different types of ceremonies for the full moon, the new moon out there, and people love it. So grounding to be in the garden. Angela said, I'm working on a second yoga routine as well. Oh, beautiful. I can't wait to hear about it. Pamela, you're welcome, goddess. Angela, I'm working on a metamorphosis class. Wow, I love that. That's beautiful. Yay. I can't wait to hear about those things. I love hearing these things. You know, to me, there's nothing better than to hear about you guys creatively thriving and coming up with ideas that excite you and that serve the world. Like, yes to that. You know, I dedicated my whole life to this. And like, I always knew, like, there's a part of me that, you know, I've been doing this forever. So there's a part of me that knows that this is what the world needs, but it needs it in different ways, right? Like some people need it in the metamorphosis class. Some people need it in the 5 a.m. boot camp with Lori. Some people, you know, are gonna love the creative flow that Pamela shares. So it's also transforming my body. Oh, nice. That's so cool. Yeah, that's great, Pamela. Yeah, so, you know, like think about it. How many people are ready to get in the best shape of their life? I'll tell you, I posted in my story yesterday about me getting in the best shape of my life. You know, I'm 40, so actually I'm pretty close, but I'm probably like maybe a couple weeks or a month away from. I definitely know I can get in the best shape of my life this year. But it's not just about being fit, you know, it's literally like strong and healthy. And this 5 a.m. thing is really helping with that, because in the morning I'm waking up and I run sometimes. We don't run a lot, but I do sprints with Mia more. She's like kind of lazy because she's still on she's in heat still. So she doesn't want to run as much. I wonder if she's going to get over that, because I really liked when we used to run together more. But anyway, she's been doing good. By the way, anybody wondering, she's doing great, but mainly she doesn't run as much. So I just do sprints because she doesn't want to do long distance. But anyway, yeah, we do a lot of calisthenics. I've been doing like some yoga, but like core workouts, some burpees, you know, like some different kind of jumping jack types of core training. Anyway, so, but a lot of people want to get in the best shape of their life. I put in my Instagram story yesterday about wanting, or I was like, this year I'm getting in the best shape of my life. Who's with me? And like 97% of people were like, I'm with you. And I was like, yes, everybody wants that. So if you create an offering that's like, yes, let's get in the best shape of our life together, people will join that. Why? Because they're looking for others that want to do it too. It's kind of intimidating to do it by yourself, and not everybody can afford a full-time private trainer. Now, some people can, and I encourage you to pursue those clients, but at the same time, you might do a group, because groups are really a little bit more affordable for people, and it can be more available for more people. So maybe you get like 20 people, 10 people in a group and do a transformation boot camp and do like 8-week series. I always think those are really, really effective and can create a lot of abundance for you. Abigail, I taught my first class to my friends on Friday, and I will be teaching different friends on Monday and Wednesday, and the other friends Wednesday and Friday afternoon. My friends are so supportive. It's tricky working out the classes though. I have been using the play, pause, B cards to help me working out the class. Okay, I'm going to answer that in just a second. We're going to say a quick prayer for 1111, because it's 1111. And you know what? That's the portal of infinite alignment with existence. And we're about to say a prayer. So we want to say thank you to the divine source of life for the beautiful blessings, the miracles, the community, the guidance, the loving energy, the abundance that's flowing. Thank you for our homes. Thank you for all of the nourishment, the love, the joy, the connection, the ideas, the creativity that flows endlessly. Thank you for the inspiration, the motivation, and the joy of living the absolute limitless potential that it is available to all of us. And may all beings everywhere, all the children, all the families, in the entire world and all the worlds and all the galaxies of all of existence in the cosmic universe have everything that they could possibly desire, want, and need: food, water, shelter, home, joy, love, inspiration, and the infinite support available to achieve their divine life purposes as a tribe, as a family, as a community. Together we shall rise. Aho, amen, ashe. And so it is. And so it is. Okay, I wanted to answer what Abigail was saying. She's saying it's tricky working out the classes and she's using some cards. Okay, I want to ask you, Abigail, if you want, you can unpause or unmute yourself. And I'm going to put you on the spotlight if you are interested. And I'd like to hear, wait, I put Angela, whoops. Hold up, I put the wrong one. Hold up. What is going on? Are you there, Abigail?
I'm here. Yeah.
Somehow. Oh, there you are. Okay. Let's ask Abigail, what do you mean by you're having it's tricky with the classes? Because I want to help you especially because you haven't got to be at the live training. And so any kind of help that I can offer for the class structure and creation, I want to help you with that.
Well, I basically it's literally getting it to do a whole hour. That's what's tricky, because most classes that I've done with you have been the 15-25 minute throughout the challenge. There have been a few ones longer than the hour, like in the chakra series, but apart from that, I haven't yet got to the hour-long session. So the class that I did on Friday was really basic because my friends have never done yoga before, so it was really easy to do that one because it's not pushing them. It's just seeing their abilities and seeing, what they need really. Whereas my friends that I'm going to be teaching tomorrow morning have all got some experience with yoga. And so it's kind of difficult to think, what can I do that's going to push them and also help me as well?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a format and I want you to write this down. And we're also including this. This is in the new training manual, so you'll have access to this. But I just want to, when you write things down, it actually helps you to ingrain that. So the format is like the outline. What I'm going to call it the outline for a class. And you could stretch this from an hour to an hour and a half, or even to a longer class. It's really the sort of outline. This is what I was talking about earlier. So when you're teaching a class, you want to do your introduction. That's usually like 2 to 3 minutes. It's not a long thing, but it's where you're going to introduce what the theme and the vibe of the class is going to be. Okay. So then after that, if this is a group that you're with, frequently, then you don't have to go into contraindications, which is where you mention if they're on their menstrual cycle or have any injuries or recent surgeries or pregnant or glaucoma, retinal detachment, high blood pressure, any of the things that could cause an issue in their practice. You want to just mention so that they're feeling safe. And then also you can offer modifications if they're, for example, menstruating or pregnant. So you want to make sure that you know all those things. But usually if it's people that you're working with on a regular basis, you should already know those things. And also if they're clients versus friends, but even with friends, you might want to create, and what I highly encourage, and we're going to make something available for you guys as a template, but we don't have it at this moment. But basically like kind of a waiver. So a waiver would be like, release of liability. If anything happens to you, it's not my fault, and also you want to get insurance for yourself. This is highly important. And there are different insurances available for yoga. You could just Google yoga insurance. I could give you the name of the one that I do. I don't know if it's the best one for Europe, so you want to try to find one that's local, but usually they're only a few $100s for the year. But the nice thing is it will cover millions of dollars in case anything happens. You always want to have these things in place. So that's kind of like a few preparations before we get into the big picture. So then you have your little intro. Now, before you even do the intro, you're going to decide on the vibe of your class. This is one thing that I highly, highly encourage, the vibe of your class. And I'm going to emphasize, what does this mean? The vibe of your class is basically the theme, the energy that you want to create. So if you've already decided with this group of friends that this is going to be a fitness vibe and you're going to be helping them to get in the best shape, That's one vibe, right? But another vibe is relaxing and like releasing stress and just like beingness and feminine energy. Totally different vibe, right? And then another vibe is what we were talking about, for example, the difference between Angela, who was talking about doing a sensual goddess flow with a lot of dancing and self-love. And then the opposite perhaps could be like what Lori's talking about, is like a boot camp where it's like really targeting towards being in like a strong fitness energy and sweating and like really working out. So those are two different vibes. They're both great, but like just different, right? And then there could be like a totally different one, which is like doing more of the Kundalini and the breath work and more of a spiritual energy where you're like, okay, we're going to ascend and bring the energy up to the crown and connect to the infinite existence of God consciousness and then channel that through your light being. That's a spiritual class. There's so many vibes, right? So you want to decide what is your vibe. None of them are right or wrong. It's just what is your vibe. Now, you can have different ones for different people, for different settings. If you were teaching a class in a school or in the hospital or in a corporate setting, it would be probably different than what you might teach to your friends, for example. But it could be same. So it just depends. You got to decide what's your vibe. Now, the vibe is going to determine the theme. So the theme, let's say your theme is, we're going to get in great shape, guys. So just let's do it. Or if the theme is goddess empowerment for the new year, whatever your theme, decide on the theme. You're also going to choose your music. So the music, now I am a big music person. So I always do music. In the Flow State app, you can see one of my music playlists from Spotify, and you could use that, or you could use some of the music from there and create your own playlist. But what you want to do is create like a 1 hour, if you're going to do an hour-long class, a 1 hour playlist. And this playlist, it's actually really nice to create the playlist first before creating the class structure, because it will help you to create the class. So you want to try to start like kind of with more not relaxing music, but a lower beat to begin with. That's when you're doing the intro, the warm up, and it's going to build and build and build until you get to the peak pose, which should be the highest beats of the class. So that's where it's like a high energy part of the class. Usually that's why a lot of the goddesses have been adding like a dance in the middle, because it's also in the highest energy. So you can put on a song and just shake it out and dance and let everybody really be in the free flow at that peak of the class, along with the peak pose. And then from there, the music starts to slow down a little bit. The beats per minute go lower, and you're going like down into hands and knees or kneeling poses or core practice, and then maybe some inversions or, the cool down, and then the finishing sequence. And it's getting more and more relaxing, And then at the end, Shavasana should be the most relaxing part of the class. And then the end is the closing. So this is kind of like the flow of the class. And then this is in the new training manual, by the way. You'll have access to this. But you want to take notes if you can, it will be helpful for you. So then after you have the flow of the class, now you have the music. If you've been able to find the songs that you feel create a nice vibe for your class, then you're going to go into choosing the sequences. So the first part is the warm up. Now this could be anything. Now, if you have like a power yoga boot camp style class, you might start with the warm up with a core workout, like just to get everybody really acquainted with their core and to set the tone of the class. But if it's a goddess class, you might do like some kind of like dancing or like movement of the hips or like some kind of undulation or, so it really, you want to match the warm up with the vibe of the rest of the class, because it sets the tone of the class. And then you want to go into a sun salutation. So at least one round of sun salutations usually will take about 5 minutes if you're verbally cueing that. So the warm-up should be about 3 to 5 minutes. Warm-up can also be a dance. Like I like to sing a song and a dance in the warm-up, or you could do a mantra, you could do Kriya, you could do a breath practice, you could do an affirmation, intention setting. There's a lot of things you could do in that warm-up. That's about 3 to 5 minutes. Then you go into the sun salutation. One round should be at least 5 minutes. That's another 5 minutes. And then from there, you go into the flow. So standing sequence, that's 5 to 10 minutes. So standing sequence is usually warrior 1 with variations moving through a flow, warrior 2 with variations moving through a flow, standing lunge sequence, twisting lunge, all the variations that you want to embed into the practice, moving through a flow. So each one of these is at least 5 minutes per sequence. So you got right there already almost 30 minutes. Now you're building up to the standing sequence, which is like you could do tree pose, you could do warrior 3, dancer's pose, eagle, any of the standing balance poses, and then peak pose. So whatever your peak pose is, maybe it's eagle, maybe it's dancer, you're moving towards a peak pose where it's the hardest pose of the class. You want to make sure every pose, all the sequencing that you do leading up to the peak pose is all related to it. So if you're going to do dancer's pose, you want to make sure that you stretched out your hamstrings and your hips and your hip flexors and all the things, your spine, your shoulders, enough so that by the time you get to the very peak pose of the class, that middle point of the class, that you're at the most open and the most balanced and the most prepared for that peak pose. And then from there, moving slowly into the lower poses. So hands and knees, like maybe spinal balancing sequences, tabletop positions, camel practices, back bending in that way. Different core practices come next. So after your peak pose, which should be like just a few minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, and then coming down to the floor. And then you're going to do like kneeling poses, maybe 5 minutes. And then your core sequence could be like 2 to 5 minutes. And then your supine positions, which would be laying on your back. You can do a lot of stretches like that. That's in the cool down. That could be another 5, even 10 minutes. And then moving towards your finishing sequence. Finishing sequence is usually what I describe. I like to end the class with the finishing sequence because it really balances and resets the spinal alignment. So that's like, we usually do plow pose or shoulder stand, as well as fish pose to counterbalance that. And then usually bridge pose or full wheel or both. And then happy baby to counterpose that. And then spinal twisting while you're laying on your back to both sides. And then shavasana. So that's what I call the finishing sequence. It's a really nice way to just reset the spine, get it all aligned, and prepare your body for shavasana, for the final relaxation. So that finishing sequence should be like 2 to 5 minutes. And then shavasana, depending on how much time is left, should be 5 to 10 minutes. And then your closing is where you thank everybody, you do om or whatever, and then complete the practice. So does that make sense, Abigail? That should be at least an hour right there.
Really good. Yeah, it's really good. I've written all of this down. It's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's super important. And we have that in the training manual. Hopefully you have access to that. But if you don't, we're going to be making sure that it's uploaded into the ebook section of the modules so that you have access to the new training manual. The older training manual didn't have that sequence. But
yeah,
I just want
you the old.
You have the old one? Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to put the new one in there. And it's like 300 pages. It's very extensive, but it's really important to have this part of it because it's really the structure. It's like the framework is what I call it. From there, you can get infinitely creative, right? So there's no like, it has to be this way or it has to be this way. It's just a sort of a framework. And then from there, you add whatever vibe, whatever theme, whatever variations, modifications, or kind of like different poses within that, but it gives you a framework, and that will give you, you can do an hour like that, or you can stretch it to an hour and a half, and just infinite different permutations of how that could be created. Hopefully, so that's helpful to you, you said?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I can't wait to hear how it goes. Yeah, so Angela, you should have the new training manual, but if not, I'm going to make sure that Suki post that for you all and that we have that available in the app, in the training modules. Lori, I've been writing and getting super inspired. Always get so much out of these. Oh, good. Angela, I will have to look. Yeah, it might be in there. If it's not in there yet, we have it. So it's just a matter of getting it in there. And I know they've been waiting a little bit on some feedback from me because, we have like continuous new upgraded. It's kind of like when you get an app and then like every couple days they have a new update to install. It's like that. Like I've made this manual, it's already 300 pages, but I keep adding more to it because there's just so many good things I want to include in there. Angela says, I know the new manual with all the poses is there. Yeah, that's the new manual, but yeah, so I'm not sure if they have the newest version. That's what I was saying about the app. It's kind of like an updated every time. The newest version has what I just described, which is like this outline of how to structure the class. It has the flow diagram that I shared with you all. It also has a whole thing about pose families and, you know, how to structure flow with the knowledge of pose families and stuff like that. So there's just like so many beautiful knowledge nuggets, I guess you could call it, gold nuggets of knowledge that I want to make sure that are included in there. But of course, I'm also filming even more videos, which I had hoped to do that in Costa Rica with Janine, but she was really focused on creating that course with Tabitha, so we didn't get to do the filming that I wanted to do. So I'm going to do it now that I'm back, and I'm going to make videos for the modules, particularly about this flow diagram and about the class structure that I just went over for you all with Abigail, and some of these other essential aspects that are also included in the manual, but I'm going to make a video about that as well. Angela says, oh, I understand. I didn't realize it was being updated still. Yeah, exactly. So that's the point. It's like, it's funny because I kind of wish it was just somehow in the app, like as part of the app, but it's a PDF separate from the app. So when we update it, you have to get the new version. So that's the weird thing about creating a book. It's like every time you do a new version, that's kind of like when you buy a book and then they're like, we have the updated version, and you can purchase new editions of books, right? Usually if you buy a book and then they have like a new edition that comes out, you got to buy it again. But the nice thing is, because you guys are lifetime members of this community, that whenever we get a new version, we just give you the new version, but you have to get it, right? So what we're aiming to do is remove the old version and put the new version in for you to download. The thing is, it's 300 pages and it has hundreds of photos in there of different asanas and different practices and stuff. So it's quite large. So the only thing about that is when something has so many graphics, it makes it a large file, and they're all very high quality, high resolution. So the large file makes it more, it's like larger. So you have to have a really strong bandwidth and a high speed internet connection for it to open right up. Otherwise, you know, it takes a little while to open. So anyway, I'm having them work on that too, because we want to be able to open it very easily, very immediately. So anyway, all the little upgrades, but it's getting there, and I'm super excited because I have been working on that since April of last year. So 8 months, it's getting there. I'm excited. It's coming together. You know, and I love to be creating these things with you all, because you also get to see what it looks like to create something massive and beautiful that helps people. Because I had an old manual, and the old manual is good, you know, and I had a lot of things from over the years. But one of the things that I decided over the COVID lockdown is I want to upgrade and update everything and make it 10 times better. And in order to do that, it takes time, it takes money, it takes investment, it takes a whole team of support, my graphic designers, my web developers, my app developer, all the people, right, that are, and Suki, my assistant, everybody that's involved in creating all of these beautiful offerings for you. You know, it's a whole team effort and a lot of work, but I'm excited because I really do believe it's going to help you so much. And it's a wonderful resource for everybody. Let's see. Flora says, can you just place a post whenever it's updated? That way we can know if we have the latest version. Yeah, that's a great idea. We will definitely do that. I can have them add the newest version into the app and then in this coming up week. And that way you'll have the newest version. And then as we add more stuff, we'll just keep letting you know when we have a new version. Because one of the things that I still want to add, I mean, there's a number of things, even though we already have over 300 pages, is that I want to add a few more things, right? But also, it's going to be really great because it's supplementary. It goes hand in hand with the flow state, well, the videos in the program, but also with the Journey to Joyful book goes really well with that. And also the the videos that I'm filming. I'm going to be filming these new videos that go complementary to the training manual. So you'll have the training manual, the videos, and that's going to be very kind of like hand in hand. And it'll walk you through how to learn these things. Because that's a nice way to learn. You know, it's like you learn it through the video, and then you read it in the manual, and then you provide, you know, you submit your homework. So that's how you learn, is by writing it yourself and sharing it. That's they say, if you want to master something, teach it. And so when you are submitting your homework, you're really ingraining the learning. And then the even more mastery is literally teaching it. So go out, and like Abigail's saying, she's teaching to her friends. As she's teaching to her friends, she's ingraining this. When I started as a teacher, I was literally so fired up. I wanted to share it. I just loved teaching. Honestly, I love teaching. So when I started, I was like loving to share with everybody. And, you know, in the beginning, I would do a lot of trades, like Abigail was saying, like with her friends, with people. Like I had one lady, I think I mentioned to you guys before, but I had one lady that was an esthetician. So we would do trades, and she would give me facials and I would teach her yoga. And I had another one that was my web developer, and we would, she would teach me how to do my website, and I would teach her yoga. And I had all these trades going. There was a massage therapist that I would do trades with. And it was wonderful. I had like a full-time amazing life of massages and facials and like all this great stuff. And it was all bartering. And it was wonderful because I was getting to teach. So I was practicing teaching, which I loved. And I was getting better at teaching by doing that. And then I was receiving all these amazing kind of like blessings that I normally wouldn't have been able to probably afford, like a facial and a massage and a website every week. But I had it all coming to me because I was teaching and I was getting better at teaching. So that's what I encourage for you to do, is really put yourself out there and do some trades with people. People will love that. Who here feels like you're going to do that for the new year? Do some of that. I do think that that's a great way to get yourself out into the community as well. You know, just like connect with people, especially people that you resonate with. Pamela, I like that vibe. Yeah. You know, because think about it, like, you know, in the end of the day, you're going to charge for your services. You're going to make a great abundance. I love, for example, what Floor and Lori are doing, and Abigail, everybody who's creating ideas around how you're going to provide to the community what you wish existed that doesn't exist. That's the best way to thrive and to succeed, is look in your community or look in the world and say, what does the world need that I want to share that's not being offered? Boom. You have a huge successful business right there. All you got to do is do it. And voila, success is yours because you have no competition. Nobody's doing it. Now, if other people are doing it, you can still succeed, but then you have to really differentiate yourself from everybody else. And it's like, okay, so what makes you different? What makes this offering that you're doing different than what the other people are doing, right? I always liked to be completely doing something totally different than what everybody else is doing, instead of just like doing it a little bit different, because then you really have no competition. The best thing is no competition. But if you do have people in your community that are doing something similar, you want to make sure that what you're doing is unique so that you're setting yourself apart. Angela said, I moved to Florida in August and I haven't made any friends or joined anything yet. My goal is to join a local yoga studio. I'm going to try some trial packages at the local studios to fill them out. Hey, that's a good idea. Definitely a good idea to join, be a part of the community. But also, like we talked about, Angela, which I think is a wonderful idea, is to get involved with the people in your community that have a similar interest. So like when you were talking about doing things for the ocean conservation and starting like something on the weekend about that, I think that was such a good idea, because now what you'll be doing is putting yourself out as a leader as well. Like that you're like, hey, I want to spearhead this initiative where we're going to do a beach cleanup. And maybe you could do a beach cleanup and a meditation for the ocean, or a beach cleanup and a yoga practice on the beach after you're done cleaning up, right? So something where you're tying it into putting yourself, out there but you could do it for free or do it as a donation in the beginning, but just to establish yourself to the community that this is what you're into. And then you start to meet and attract like-minded people that are into those things too. So I loved when you talked about doing that. I think it's such a good idea. Let's see. Also, I looked for any groups on Meetup and I didn't see any existing groups. Yeah, the thing is, Angela, because you live in a small island, so you have to kind of create your own thing, because I think there's not a lot going on there yet, which is actually beneficial depending on what the actual total, like, I don't know the word, number of people that live there. I don't know. Maybe it's only like 100 people living on the island, then it's kind of maybe a very small island, but I don't know how many people live there. But you got to look how many people live there total, and then out of them, how many are in the age group and the vibe that would be interested in the yoga class that you offer. You got to look at those things, because then you can really get an idea of what's the size of your potential community, right? And then you can start to create your vision around that. Angela, yes, that is on my to-do list. I was looking at some of the local existing groups. It's more like 15,000 to 20,000 permanent residents. Hey, that's good. 20,000 is good, because you are going to be a leader there. And it's like, there doesn't sound like there's really anybody else. So there's like no competition, which is great. So you're going to be a leader. There's no competition. These things are great. So then all you have to do is put yourself out there, create the idea, connect with some other people that are into the stuff that you're into, co-create something cool that's setting the tone for what you want to be known for. That's really the key, I think, a lot of times. Like, what do you want to be known for? If this was the end of your life, like, what do you want to be known for? You know, that's something that can be beneficial. When you think about that kind of question, it can be beneficial in determining what you want to focus on, because then it helps you to be very discerning, like what you're going to put your energy towards. And if it's not something that's like, yeah, I want to be known for that, then you're just like, you know what? It's not important. I'm not going to focus on that, right? I have like such a flow today. Let's see. Angela, yes, there is a store that's all about green, and they plan to approach them about doing an offering. Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, so in your community, you always want to think about who you could align with that would be the best energy. Like, to me, I love to work with resorts. I always love to work with resorts. One of the reasons for that is because they have a few things. First of all, they need what you offer. Most resorts can really benefit from having something like yoga, meditation, and this type of thing available for their people that come there, right? It adds value to their property and it brings more people there. And then they usually have a budget at least, right? Or they're at least going to have clientele for you. So there's like so many good things about that. And then they usually have a PR department, a marketing department. So those people can be beneficial in helping you. And so there's all these different things about resorts, properties like that can be very beneficial for you to work with them. Let's see. She said, my goal for the week is to complete my written exam so I'm fully legit. Yes, you got this, girl. I believe in you, goddess. Abigail, I just want to ask more about the insurance. While I'm a student, I would need a trainee insurance, wouldn't I? That's a good question, Abigail. You know, I don't think they have an insurance like that where it's like a trainee insurance. They might, but I don't know about it. But you can get the other kind. I'm trying to think if you need your certification to get insurance, but I kind of don't think you do. You'll want to look that up and see, but I don't really remember them requiring like your certification number to get insurance, but they might. So just look into it, because I don't think they have a trainee insurance. They might. I've never had that because I was always just certified already, but definitely look into it. Angela said, resorts. We have Ritz-Carlton on the island. I plan on approaching them soon. That's a great idea. That's a wonderful, wonderful brand. When I purchased my insurance, they didn't ask for proof. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So Angela did that, and she's saying they didn't ask for proof. So you just want to get the insurance. It doesn't matter if you have proof or something. Like, you just want to have that. Cover yourself. You know. Let's see. Abigail, in France, they're crazy for certification. Yeah, well, some places are more strict, but it depends on the insurance, I think, more than anything. So you're going to have the insurance, or you're going to have the certification as soon as you graduate, but see if you can get the insurance if you want before that. They might not require you to show proof of your something. They just can give, you can get insurance. Angela says, I used a plan I bought through Be Yogi. They didn't ask. Floor in the Netherlands too. Yeah, so check it out. Maybe go on Be Yogi. That's a good one. There's different ones. I'm trying to remember the one I did. I can look into it and find the exact one I did. We're actually going to include that information in the new manual. But for now, if you're not even certified yet, you can still get your insurance. So check that one out by Be Yogi that Angela is talking about. Beyogi, because you can get that to protect yourself. It's a really good idea. I think I mentioned to you, but there was like one of my friends, they own a studio in Maui, and it was just crazy. They told me this story that this guy, they were doing a class, and when you have a class of more than a few people, a lot of times the mats are pretty close to each other. And in the class, this one guy, he did like a headstand, and then he fell over onto the guy next to him. And he hurt the guy. Something happened. I don't remember exactly what, but like they ended up getting pretty injured. And so they decided to sue the yoga studio. And their claim was that the mats were too close and it was unsafe, which is totally stupid. But anyway, the point is that if you have insurance, it covers that kind of thing. If you don't, it doesn't. So you got to look at that and be like, all right, am I covered? Make sure you're covered. You don't want to be responsible. The nice thing is the insurance, like I said, for a few $100s a year, it'll cover you millions of dollars of coverage. That's worth it. Definitely. Let's see. Any other questions? Welcome, Tabitha. I said Tabitha just came on. Yeah, I understand about the certifications in Europe. It's good, but they're pretty strict in terms of that. So it is good because you do want people to have an accredited sort of training, like a lot of people, they just do like a weekend training or they just do some online training and, or whatever, even just if it's like a local training, but it might not be accredited. And so, my school's been accredited since 2011 and we've been doing, our trainings for all over the world and it's very high level, but like not everybody has that. So I think it's good that places like France and Netherlands are more strict with that because it's requiring people to, level up a little bit, because you want to be able to be a leader and to provide the safest and the best experience for your students. And in doing so, you have a head on the competition, I guess you could say, in the sense that you will be able to be offering people the best quality yoga experience. One of the things that I really feel that I pride myself on in the Flow Stay Institute is that I think it was Angela who mentioned that, we provide so much more than just the asanas. You really learn about connection to source energy, the spiritual practices, the Kundalini Kriyas, the mantras, EFT, how to clear your energy, breath work, but also ecstatic dance, tantra, the Ayurveda, all of these different modalities make you a deeper and more enriching teacher because it deepens your experience as well. And you come from a well of deep experience and people can feel the difference. Angela said, the world is obsessed with certification. My friend and I were talking about wellness coaching, death doula, and being a patient advocate. And I said, I don't understand why we need more certifications. I've been in the health industry for 30 years. I have a BSN, 2 nursing certifications, Reiki and yoga, and I still need additional proof that I know what I'm doing. Wow. Well, I think it depends. Like if you want to be a death doula or I don't know, some of those things are pretty specific. Like with this certification, you're going to get a dual certification, which is wellness coaching and, what I call flow state lifestyle coach. And yoga teacher training. So you get both of those. So if you need a certification for the wellness coaching, be sure and contact us once you graduate so we can give you both if you need a separate one, because we provide that. But it's, it is interesting because people want to know, do you have a real accredited education in this, or is it just something that you read an ebook online one day? Like, I met so many people, for example, yoga people on Instagram over the last 5 to 10 years who had in their Instagram bio, and it said self-taught yogi 1 year, and they had like 100,000 followers, and they were really, really good at the splits, and they were very flexible because they were probably like a dancer in middle school or something. And so then all of a sudden they were like, well, I'm really good at these yoga poses, and everyone was like, wow, this person is a master yogi because they got like so flexible. And so people started to correlate flexibility and your ability to do yoga poses with being a master yogi. And so it's interesting because that was a huge sort of illusion that was created within social media. Was like, wow, this person's a master yogi because they're like able to do these very advanced poses, but they may or may not know anything about yoga, how to teach yoga. In fact, I even know people who have like a million or more fans on Instagram who are very famous in yoga, who don't teach, and they're not really good at teaching, and or they don't even want to teach, and they're not interested in teaching, and they're really just like yoga models. So the whole world got like a little bit kind of off track in that because it became very confusing who's a real teacher and who's a yoga model, or who's a flexible yogi who had a background in dance, for example, or a contortionist, but now is putting themselves out as a yogi. So it's very confusing. That's why certifications became prioritized, I think, in the world, because they're like, okay, is this person legitimate? Have they been trained? Do they know what they're doing? Let's see. Flora says, I can join the Dutch Yoga Federation as soon as I have 500-hour YTT international certification, but it's not necessary to have a YTT certification to teach yoga here. But it would be nice to have the 500 hours. You're going to have the 500 hours, Flores, and I want to also emphasize that because I saw you communicating with Suki, and I want to just make sure that you feel at ease. We're definitely able to provide you with that through the training that we have, and also we want you to come to the live programs. I'm really excited. We're working on a program that we would do in Costa Rica, but I think it'll be just 2 weeks instead of the month. We're not going to do the month programs anymore. It's just way too much. It's too much for me. Like, I get so burned out from those that it takes me so long to recover. But anyway, so we're just going to do a maximum of, it was going to be 10 days, but the location that we want to do it at, they only allow 7-day periods. So it would be either 7 days or 14. So I think we're going to do the 14-day program, but I'm working on being able to confirm. We want to get David Pramal to be able to come. She lives there, and to offer some mantra program. So if we can get her, that would be my dream come true. She's one of our friends. She's a part of the Om TV and the Flow State community, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful soul. And I would love to be able to bring her into our training, even just for 1 day, to offer a mantra workshop and to do her singing with us. So I'm working on that. And so when we have that information about her schedule, then we'll be able to set the dates for the next program that we're going to do in Costa Rica. So it's going to be a 2-week immersion, and it would be something that you can come to, Floor, that will be wonderful. And you'll be able to get 200 hours at the 14-day program, and then you can get the other 300 online, because we have our 100 hours of workshops, and we're going to be adding more hours to the online training, and then the live trainings are the rest of the hours. So you can get the 500 hours in that way. Yay! And I'm so excited about that. Let's see. Pamela says, I will come back to Costa Rica with you. Yay! We would love to have you. You're so great. You're such a goddess. Angela said, ever since I stayed at the resort in La Fortuna, my dreaming of a 14 I'm dreaming of a 14-day retreat, 7 days in the mountains and 7 days at the beach. Ah, that's so cool. Yay. I know, I love the mountains and the beach. Well, actually, the place that we're looking at is kind of like both because it's in a place called, well, it's in Nosara, but they have the mountains there and then they have the beach. So it's a unique place. But anyway, I'll let you guys know more about that soon. But it's a 14-day immersion, and hopefully we're gonna have David Pramal, who's like one of my favorite singers in the spiritual community, and she lives there. So, Floor, nice, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Angela says, and thanks. Good to know what certificates are available besides the yoga. Yeah, like through my school, we can do a lot of certificates, and actually, we're going to. Angela, just so you know, I'm talking to my other friend who is a nurse practitioner, and they're working on a program potentially to be able to provide CEUs to nurses through the Flow State Institute. So eventually we'll have that certificate that we will offer, and maybe you can work with us for that as well. My sister is also a nurse, so I just have this dream that I can bring the nurse people that I love around to this beautiful energy and give you all a different kind of way to channel your unique energy and to serve that community, because it's a huge community, the nurses of the world. There's like millions of nurses, and they need this, as you know, everybody. It's like, especially the ones who've been working during COVID and like in the hospitals, and this has been a really difficult time for nurses, but they're also making good money. But my sister told me, they offered her $20,000 a month, and she's like, it's not even worth it. She wants to quit. She's sick of it. It's like killing her soul. So I want to be able to offer her an opportunity as well eventually. So we're working on that. Angela said, my real dream would be to bring this work to hospitals for patients and staff. The staff is suffering so badly right now. I talked to 2 friends this week and both are in tears. It's heartbreaking. Exactly. That's what I was just talking about, Angela. My sister's the same way. She had a whole mental breakdown and checked herself into a mental hospital because she was so, in a bad place, because she's been working in the hospital for this whole COVID for 2 years. And it's just been like destroying her soul. And she ended up getting like 3 months off. I think they do paid leave though. It's kind of nice. But anyway, because of her mental breakdown. And she also got out of the COVID vaccine with religious amnesty. So she's been doing pretty good on that. But anyway, we got to talk to her, see where she's at with that. But it's definitely a huge growing need, and we want to be able to serve that through the Flow State Institute. So we're working on it. And if you wanted to be a part of that, Angela, you're more than welcome. And there's lots of work to be done there. Let's see. She said, I know I had 2 panic attacks before I quit, and I had never suffered such a thing before. Yeah. That's where the world is right now. That's why I'm so passionate, because I know that what we have at the Flow State Institute is literally exactly what the world needs at this time in history. And I feel that because of all my suffering that I experienced, especially early in my life, that it prepared me, and I built this huge school so that we could serve the world at this very important time on earth together. And so I think that everybody who's in our community literally is here for a purpose, like a really unique divine purpose to serve the world in your unique and divine way. And I'm just here to support you in every way that I can. And I'm grateful for our community that we have, because I feel like also community is so powerful and important right now more than ever on earth. And it's our opportunity to be able to, to serve, and to be able to be the light amidst this dark tunnel of craziness. Like I go on YouTube and it's like all this crazy stuff, all these things about the vaccine is like never ending. Jasmine, I'm not a nurse, but even just being in the hospital environment and hearing everything can make you so stressed. I'm grateful every day that I get to work remotely 3 days and only in office 2 days, because I'm able to disconnect from that vibe. Oh, that's great, Jasmine. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I never even liked to go into hospitals when it wasn't COVID, but now that that's the vibe, I'm like, I won't be going there. And it's weird because my sister's pregnant and she's going to be having her baby in May. And she's so weird. Like she wants to have the baby in the hospital. And I was like, like to me, I would never have a baby in a hospital anyway, but like definitely not during COVID. You know what I mean? It's just like a definite no. But she also got the vaccine. So it's a strange thing. I always thought I knew her, but then I don't know if I know her that well. So it is what it is. But the point is that those people need a lot of help, and we are here to serve. So anybody who wants to be a part of that initiative, you're welcome to join in and help. And we're also, like I said, working on the children's initiative for the school systems. So between the school systems and the nurse and the hospital scenario, we have two huge demographics to serve. And then everybody else, it feels more inclined towards the environmental initiatives, or like your local community with like just getting people into a great shape, into a good flow state, into a positive energy, retraining people's consciousness to focus on the positive optimism. That's a huge growing demand that is totally needed in the world right now too. So many people focus on the negative. It's just like, it's so fascinating. I haven't noticed when my mind does it too. I did it. My mind does not do that very often. I've trained it very well, but like a couple times in the last couple years, I noticed when it did, and I was like, oh wow. And then I retrain it back. But you never know. Like some of the most powerful people are still dealing with this. So imagine people that have zero training in your mind, like they're just struggling, So our opportunity is to not only train our own minds and to master our own energy, but also to guide others through that path, because it is literally the only thing that will save our planet and help the world. Right? Because everything starts inside. Everything literally starts right here in our heart, in our mind, in our energy. That's the basis of all that happens in your life and in the world. So the more that we work on that, stay connected to the community and the tribe of loving support that's here on the same path, the same mission, that's how we're going to see a huge, huge shift rippling out from our commitment to that. Okay, it's 12. We're going to do a quick break. Let's do 10 minutes. We'll come back at 12:10, and then we'll finish up for the day. Maybe we'll do a meditation, some practices, and if there's anything that you want me to cover today, think about it on the break and be sure to bring it up for the last part of this session today. And also, I want to plant the seed and ask you a question. If you would prefer if we did 2 different sessions per week, 2 hours each, or 1.5 hours each, instead of a 3-hour once a week. I personally like the 3-hour once a week because it's like once you're already on here, it's really easy to just go into it and stay into that. But also at the same time, there's an opportunity for, a lot of people miss this session because, they might think, oh, it's 3 hours. You can leave if you need to. So never feel like you have to stay the whole 3 hours. If you have to go, that's okay. You can watch the replay. And also if you have to miss some sessions, you can watch the replay. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure for 2022, we offer you the absolute best opportunity to connect with the community and to be able to have access to me and any questions that you might need. Angela said it's more difficult to keep up with more sessions. See, I feel that way too. I feel that way too. So I'm feeling like I want to stay with this. It feels good to me. And also when we start to work with the schools, we're going to have a larger bunch of people tuning in, but it's still I want to try to stay with the Sundays because I feel like Sunday is such a great day. It's a day that nobody usually works. It's a good thing to start the morning with this beautiful connective energy and really start your week out with the best possible vibe. Angela said, plus I have some other sessions that I try to keep up with. Yeah, exactly. Abigail, I like the 3 hours. It's easier to commit to. Beautiful. All right. Well, I love the feedback. Floor, I thought I would like more shorter sessions, but I feel the Sunday works the best for me. I feel the same way. That's why I kept trying to add more different sessions, but like people weren't tuning in that much. And I was like, well, most people like the Sunday. So we just stay like that. This is like our church. It's like the goddess vibration church of love. So I think we stay with it, but we'll talk more about that when we come back from the break. I'll see you in 10 minutes. We're back. Welcome back, my friends. I love you. By the way, I'm making the best drink in case you want to know what I'm having. This is something I like to have every day, actually. I'm on the cleanse, but it's nice because it gives you a lot of, it's warm, it's hot drink. It has cacao, yerba mate, tea bag, cacao, and oat milk, or you could put almond milk, coconut milk, any kind of like vegan milk. And I put a little bit of monk fruit for sweetener. And I put a little bit of coconut creamer that has medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane, chaga, ashwagandha, and that kind of stuff. It's so good. Hope you like it. Cacao ceremony. And the other thing you could add is a little bit of cayenne pepper. That really opens up your blood flow. It's just such a nice, delicious option. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Did anybody think of some topics that you wanted to cover for this last part of our session? Because for me, my greatest joy is in helping you get to your next level, and that's what this is all about. And I know you have hundreds of hours of resources to continuously learn and grow built into the flow state training program, but these live sessions are really where we can dive deeper. I can help you explore more in depth with any of the topics and also with your teaching. And also I really liked how, I think it was Angela today was just bringing up some of the business questions, because that's also available during these sessions. Think of these sessions as literally 3-hour private coaching with me every week, and you can literally ask anything you want. And or just get some great recipes on nice elixirs. Okay. Let's see. So post in the chat if you came up with any kind of topics that you would like to go a little deeper into. Otherwise, I'll be doing my own topics. I'm going to bring out my chalice. It was really nice when I went to that event yesterday with my friends. I brought the chalice. By the way, that's another cool idea. If you have anybody in your local community that is doing cool stuff, you can always go and be a part of it. I think that's such a good idea. Like, I really just went because my good friend was like, you never came to my thing. And he was like, you should come and meet all the people. And there's like hundreds of people that come to this thing every week. And they're cool people, they're into psychedelics and yoga. I was like, these are cool people. Let me go say hi. And I brought my chalice and I played it, and it was so nice to just bring the good energy. And so you can do that too. Like if you have a singing bowl, you don't have to have a singing bowl, but if you have any kind of thing that you can share and offer, offer to contribute to what's already happening in your community that's inspiring for you, something that you'd like to be a part of. But don't just be like, hey, I'd like to be a part of it. Be like, hey, what can I offer? What can I contribute? And then you can start to build nice connections. And it was so interesting. The girl that leads that 420 yoga thing, she told me, which I didn't remember, but she told me she met me years ago. She came to one of my classes many years ago before she was a teacher, apparently. And she got inspired by me. And she ended up doing it. And then she ended up creating this whole cool thing with the partying community doing 420 yoga. She has like hundreds of people. She's leading retreats now. And it's really cool, to see people who find their niche and thrive by serving their niche, their community of people that are resonant. So for her, she was really into the party scene. So it was a natural fit for her to transition from the girl that was like partying at the club to the girl that's teaching yoga to the club partiers. I was like, so that makes sense. To me, it's always a natural fit to serve people that are passionate about awakening and healing the world, because that's who I am. So like whenever you start to really learn about who you are, that's when you're going to find your flow. That's when you're going to find sometimes they say your tribe or your stride. Another word that they use is finding your stride. It means that you get into the current of the river that is in the pathway of least resistance, that's really aligned with your soul purpose. And that is when you're going to see the greatest success. And sometimes it takes a lot of trial and error to find that, you know. I know for myself, I try many different things. And there are lots of things that I wished I would have stayed with instead of like moving on. So sometimes you really got to listen to the universe that's guiding you and like really stay with something when it's working, you know, instead of like, I'm tired of this, I'm going to try something different. Just stay with it if it's working. You can expand, but don't let it go. Because the minute you let it go, a lot of people step in and take over. That's what happened with me with the 30-day yoga challenge. I was leading that. I had millions of people doing my challenges. And then I kind of got sick of it because I was doing it already for years. And then I was like, well, I want to do something else. And I wanted to lead my teacher trainings. And I started wanting to travel. And so then all these other people started doing the 30-day yoga challenge. And I see now even people doing it right now. So it's interesting because if I would have stayed with it, man, who knows what my path would have been. But you got to ask yourself, what's working? Where's the flow? Where's the support? Where is the universe really supporting your path? What feels in alignment, most resonant, and most importantly, what brings you the most joy? And when you ask yourself that question, what brings me the most joy? That's when you're going to find your greatest path of flow. Let's see. Flor says, I think it's nice to do a meditation on that, on staying with what is, but also on letting go what's not resonant. Yes. All right, we can do that. Let's do it. So sitting up nice and straight. Take a deep breath. Grounding into your body, feeling connected to your heart, to this present moment. Grounding into the flow of the now, of the infinite, eternal, divine presence of the source of life that streams to you and through you at all times. Feeling that. Feeling that ever expansive nature of divine essence of who you are. Releasing any resistance to the truth of life, to your infinite divine perfection. Surrendering your mind and all of that rational thinking, overthinking, over analytical part of the mind that blocks the flow, and embracing the infinite intelligence of divine knowingness that streams to you and through you as you continuously guiding your life, your path along the beautiful ocean of existence, so that you may align with the absolute most resonant frequencies, attracting and magnetizing the support, the loving, joyous, co-creative energies to fulfill your divine life purpose, calling that in, welcoming it, opening your arms to receive that blessing. Truly, truly, truly knowing that you are infinitely loved, infinitely supported, infinitely guided, infinitely abundantly provided for. And as long as you are serving with an open heart of contribution to make the world a better place, there will always be support for that. Sorry. There will always be support for your energy as long as you're serving the world, contributing to make the world a better place, channeling the highest vibration of love, of kindness, compassion, presence, divine energy streaming to you and through you as as you rise into your greatness now, today, this year, this lifetime, stepping fully into your power, stepping fully into your greatness, letting go of procrastination, self-doubt, self-sabotage, non-resonant energies, any inclination towards attraction of frequencies that could harm you, destroy you, block your flow, and letting all of those energies dissolve from your path forevermore. Only allowing the most resonant, the most divinely aligned people, opportunities, and circumstances to magnetize into your field today and always. So that you may be the torchbearer of truth, the guiding light, a part of the legion of legends, the angel army of light that is here on earth at this time to awaken, to heal, to transform, to guide humanity back to the truth, to the light, to the love, the oneness of existence. And may you be blessed infinitely, eternally for your dedication, your devotion, your commitment to spreading the light, to being the light, to spreading the truth, to your inner work, to your family, to your community, to all who will come into contact with your energy. May they be blessed infinitely with the flow, with the divine energy of flow, of love and abundance. May you continuously be blessed, infinite intelligence streaming to you and through you, divine guidance, all of the abundance and support you need to fulfill your beautiful creative energy expression through your dharma, through your life work. May you rise into your greatness. This year is your year as you let go of all non-resonant frequencies, completely dedicated to the sovereignty of your beingness. Rise. Rise and you rise and you rise. Every day, your commitment solidifies. Contribution amplifies. Your devotion deepens. Your excellence expands. Your soul soars, flying high like the birds of the sky, soaring like the eagles, seeing with the eagle vision wider than before, seeing beyond the illusion of this limited time-space reality into the infinite existence of all of eternity, connected to that infinite intelligence, source of life that you are. You are the creator of your destiny, the co-creator of your life experience. You are the one who decides every step of the way what feels resonant. Where is the path of least resistance? Letting go of any blocks to the flow, opening up fully and completely to all of the beautiful abundance, the support, and the love, and the guidance, and the prosperity, and the joy, and the adventure that's available available to you here and now and always, as you are just an extension of source energy, the divine frequency that created everything streams through you. Of course, you deserve it all because you are that. You are love. You are abundance. You are creator energy, divine, eternal, infinite intelligence. You are that. Breath. Exhale and release any resistance, any doubts, any fear. And just open yourself up to be a portal of receptivity. Open your palms to the sky, or place your hand, one on your heart, one on your womb, and just feel that deep, deep connection to yourself, to your embodiment. As you become more and more aligned, your embodiment solidifies. You start to feel the anchoring in of all that you know into all that you are. That is the very nature of embodiment, is to be anchored in to who you are being, how you are showing up as an expression of your divine essence in this life, in this body, for that magnificence, extraordinary being. You're here to offer an extraordinary contribution to the world. Not ordinary, you are extraordinary. And the way that you distinguish your extraordinary energy is by the discernment between lower frequency, non-resonant energy, cutting those off, creating boundaries, and being discernment into what is allowed in your field, as you create a protective shield around you, protecting you, keeping out any COVID frequency, any sickness, any disease, any non-resonant energies. Just do not penetrate your shield. Your protective field is now stronger, more powerful than ever before. You are invincible. You are impenetrable. You are limitless, infinite intelligence, vibrating on the same frequency as God, Goddess, divine energy. Take a deep breath. Exhale, release. All the beings of love, light, and ascension are now available to you. The Ascended Master Realm is open. We give thanks for the Ascended Masters. Thank you, Ascended Masters, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Jesus, Buddha, all of the Ascended Masters who walked the earth and those who didn't. Thank you for guiding us, protecting us, healing us, providing inspiration for our lives as we live upon this earth, journey through this human realm, have the opportunity to live as human beings in this world. And we ask the Ascended Masters to bless us and to provide a protective shield and to send healing, loving frequency to all beings in the world, healing those who have COVID, healing the fear pandemic, healing the negative mind of the world, the fear, the anxiety, the depression, the PTSD. May we be a conduit, may we be the medicine for the world right now. May your life be an offering for the world. May your life be a blessing. May you be the medicine that the world needs. May that medicine be valued, and may that medicine be honored and loved and cherished in all the ways, in all ways. Welcome. May you be blessed infinitely, abundantly, joyously. the best friends, the best community, the best tribe, the best lover, the best family, the best joyous journey, even when it gets hard, even when you're into healing, knowing that it's all in the best interest of your evolution, and we give thanks for that journey. Thank God for that. We give thanks for the magical tools that we have available to us, like the chalice, the crystal chalice of love, abundance, this frequency. Such a beautiful, beautiful conduit for beautiful energy. So we give thanks for the music. We give thanks for the vibration that's available to us through these tools. Now take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Anchor it in to your heart. And exhale. Touch the silence. And coming back. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And forevermore. Feel free to post a comment if you have anything you want to share. Pamela, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I love you. I loved that recommendation, Floor. It was such a good idea. Everybody's grateful. So thank you for that. Floor, thank you. I feel so supported. Oh, good. Yeah, because you are. Jasmine, thank you. I feel everyone's energy. Oh, beautiful. I love that. Just completing that with this cacao drink. Ah, life is good. If you don't have your cacao drinks coming along, next time you got to do it. So good. You're welcome, Angela. I love you guys. So happy that we have this time together every week. Truthfully, it's one of my favorite things. You know, when we're not together in real life, it's nice. I mean, this is real life, but anyway, whatever. In the physical, that we have this virtual, beautiful church Sundays, and that we get to connect in this way. And it's such a nice way. And really think about starting the week, right? So, like, what are you putting in to the intention for the week? What are you creating? You can, if you want, you're welcome. Lori says, I'm so grateful for this space. Yeah, we love you. Grateful for you. What I'm going to declare my intention for the week. And if you guys want to, you can. That way you can, you know, it's nice to put it out there because it actually holds you accountable in a bigger way. So I'm working on a few things. I'm actually finishing 3 big projects this week, hopefully. One of them is going to be filming these last videos for you guys, actually. One of them, it's like what I talked to Abigail about earlier, about the flow curve and those things that are in the training manual. I'm making videos about those. I'm going to be filming those videos. Abigail said I could sleep after that. Yeah, take a nap. Let that integrate. It's a good idea. We're going to be done here in just a few, 20 minutes, and then you can definitely do a nap, integrate this session, and feel, you know, feel that wave of support. Feel the truth of what we just shared. Anyway, I'm filming those videos for you guys this week. I'm also finishing a syllabus. It's actually going to be like 30 or 40 pages that's really like detailed about this program so that you have a little bit more of a written structure around beginning to completion and that graduation process. So I'm writing that. It's It's coming along. It's already 20 pages, but it's going to be, I think, 30 or 40 pages. But it's not a lot of like reading. It's actually, there's images and it's like very visually interesting. So it's not going to be like, oh no, another thing to read. But I think it'll be interesting and very valuable for you guys. So I'm creating that. I'm filming some more videos for you all. And then I'm working on 2 other things. 3 other things actually. One of them is the thing that I'm doing with the FINA for the TEDx event. I'm creating a proposal around that event and also this biohacking center that we're going to do at that hotel. It's going to be amazing. And then I'm creating a proposal the proposal kind of thing for the school that we're going to be working with, the school district in California. They have 1,300 schools. So put a prayer out for us so that we can get our contract approved, so that we can get our program into the 1,300 charter schools in California. That is my big vision for this year. And then the last one is this program that I'm doing with my friend Nick with the psychedelic medicine. I talked about that in the Flow State Challenge today, but me and a friend of mine are creating psilocybin microdosing product, which is really exciting because nobody else has anything like this. And it's literally one of the most healing things in the whole world. Last year, I microdosed every day, not every day, like 2 days on, 1 day off for the whole year though. And it was life changing. It was just like so powerful. I wrote 300 pages of my book. I didn't finish the book yet, but the reason is because I want to launch it as an NFT. But anyway, 300 pages I wrote and it was amazing. And like a lot of other things, we created the whole online school. We did like so many things. I filmed like 50 new videos. I did the photo shoot, created the whole new training manual, which is 300 pages. We created the app. I did all of that in a year and it was all while microdosing on psilocybin. So we're like, let's make a product for other people to have access to this powerful, amazing medicine. And it's been proven with research and science to help heal people from PTSD and all sorts of trauma and any kind of like things like that. It helps you get into flow state. So we're going to create a program around that. And it's something that I can offer for you guys as well. If you feel called towards psychedelic medicine, you could bring this into your lifestyle coaching and you could offer, people supported, private, guided coaching with these products. So it's going to be like capsules that you can get for people to experience that. So that's something that you can consider. But either way, it'll be available for the world, but it's going to be private. It's on a private website. So it's only invite only. So that's something we're working on this week as well. Let's see. Lori says, my intention is to flow through the week effortlessly, to have a trip to Arizona Thursday night, come home Sunday, staying at the Great Wolf Lodge Water Park with my daughter and granddaughter in Scottsdale. Should be super fun. Wow, that's amazing. That'll be amazing. Lori says the contract is approved. Aho, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you for that. And sounds like such a fun weekend. Jasmine, yes, it has already approved. Thank you, Goddess. I appreciate the love and support. Angela says, I'm excited for the school project in Cali. Aho, it is done. Aho, thank you. TEDx event sounds great. Motivating me to do a little research into the idea I've had for a talk on the sick care system. Exactly. The sick care system is so true. Pamela, my intention is to get up for the 6 a.m. challenge. Yes, you got this, girl. I believe in you. Angela, I believe in you. Floor, yes, praying for the school project. Thank you. I love you so much. You guys are so great. I really appreciate the support with that. It means a lot to me, because I really do believe in the power of kind of like unified energy, putting the intention out. That's why I always encourage you to share your intentions, because first of all, just sharing it is a good idea because it holds you more accountable. But besides for that, it actually, the universe hears all of that. And then it's like supports you even more. Lori says, wahoo, good vibes all around. Yeah. Angela, I will be looking for you on the call tomorrow. Pamela, yeah, join us. It's awesome. Every day for this month. So I'm loving it. It's been really, really nice. Clarissa, my intention is to get out of the house this week to enjoy some fresh air once it's no longer -40. Wow. Good idea. That -40, it's tough on the skin. I remember living in the freezing South Dakota, and sometimes we'd have a blizzard and we couldn't even get out the door because the snow was so piled up that we had to shovel our way out of the door. That was really tough. Let's see. So I'm sending you love, Clarissa. Lori, see you tomorrow, Pamela. Oh my goodness, Clarissa, exactly. Floor, I'll do the best year.life. I don't know what that is. That's so cool though. Angela, that's tough, Clarissa. Yeah, we're sending you love, Clarissa. It sounds cold. So we love you and we're sending you heat. By the way, if you guys are ever really cold, Flora says it's a summit/webinar. Oh, that's so cool. If you guys are ever really, really cold, I really recommend you doing the fire breath. So Sat Kriya or any of the fire breath for 3 minutes can literally completely heat you up. So for example, if you did that outside, one time I was in Colombia and it was freezing. And we did that for like 2 to 3 minutes and we got hot. We were like sweating. So it's so interesting. And you can see pictures of yogis who are sitting in like a snowy field of snow, and around them all the snow melts and it's like they're sitting and there's no snow around them, and it's because you can literally raise your own temperature just from breath. So I encourage you to try that. Just the breath, you can increase your core temperature to such an extent that the snow will melt. Not to say you need to sit there in a pile of snow and melt the snow, but I'm saying like you can warm yourself up. So if you feel cold, do that and then go outside and do the fire breath and see how you feel. Try it for 3 minutes. If you're like, this is still too cold, I don't know, come back in. But just give it a try. I would try it. It could really help you. You never know. So we send you love, Clarissa, and also lots of warmth. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, thoughts, or things that you want to mention before we end for the day? This is so good. Let's see. Angela said, what did you put in it again? Oh yeah, that was, I used yerba mate for the tea. So hot water, yerba mate, and then I put cacao powder, coconut creamer that has ashwagandha, lion's mane, and other mushroom blend, and then a little bit of oat milk and monk fruit. And you can put a little cayenne if you want to really spice it up, and that makes you more heat. So nice, so good. Flora says, I really did like the meditation. Oh, good. Maybe next time we can do a cacao ceremony. Yeah, baby. I did the cacao ceremony. I guess you guys just weren't in on it. Listen, I want you to all know you're always welcome to do a cacao ceremony. Every time we're together, I'm doing one usually. So I just do it. And like, you guys are welcome to do it. If you want to dance too, we can definitely bring in the dancing. And if you want, we could actually end today's session with a dancing if you want. The creamer had the shrooms. Yeah, I get this one by Laird Hamilton. It's a coconut creamer. You can get it in the dairy section or the vegan dairy section of Whole Foods, and it's by Laird Hamilton. And he has the vanilla one is the one I like, and it has a vanilla flavor, coconut creamer with mushroom blend. Yeah, Laird Hamilton. I used to live near him in Malibu and also in Kauai. Angela, I have gotten that before. Yeah, it's so good. You guys want to do a quick dancing session for our completion of our day? We can do the thank you for this day, or we can dance to one of a different song. Let me get a song. Hold on a second. Gotta get our music going. Where's my music? Let's see. Can you guys hear this? I don't know if you can hear it. Post in the chat if you can hear it. No. Oh, okay. Well, if you can't hear it, I don't know. It's weird because I'm on the phone. Let me just check really quick if there's a way to bring it in. Meeting settings, chat, recording. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for join, play, join, and leave sound. No. Meeting, touch on my close caption, show name, stopping on. I don't know if it's going to give me the music. If you guys want, I can either post the link to the music. Do you guys have the link to the song, the thank you song? Or if not, post in the chat if you have it, because you can play it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, not that quick. Okay, I'm gonna give you the link. Hold on. Thank you for this day. Okay. Zoom needs a little bit more with, hard to get the music going anymore. Okay, here's the link if you guys want it. And we're gonna dance to this song. Okay, let's play it. All right, so try it. Can't probably hear it, but we're gonna dance anyway. Cheering. Thank you. All my friends, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. This healing day, this healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Say thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I want to just say thank you now. Thank you now. Thank you now. Thank you now. Each and every day, gonna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! So grateful. I'm so grateful. I wanna just say thank you now, thank you now, thank you now, thank you now. Each and every day gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! Woo! Yeah, thank you, my friends. Beautiful. There's the link if you didn't get it. We're going to figure out a way to get the music to play during our session, but I think it's usually only if you're streaming from the actual computer. And I was streaming through my phone. So anyway, that might be the reason, but hopefully you enjoyed my singing instead. And hopefully we're singing along with, because that's really what makes it fun. And it's an affirmation song, and I always play that at my trainings. And in fact, I play that in the beginning of some of my classes. And such a great way to start the day and to start your class and to end the day, whatever. Gratitude is the infinitely best energy to live from, and it is truly the catalyst for miracles. So on that note, I am so grateful for you, sending you so much love, big hugs to you and your family, and make it the best day ever. We're going to be actually having the full moon coming up, I heard, so we're going to do a live full moon ceremony, but I think we'll do it on Facebook because I have that big community over there. I usually do my lives on Facebook. I will let you all know and give you the link whenever we have that coming along. We might do it on YouTube. I'm going to decide. But either way, I love you.